What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Miami the Great. I am your host. This is DWE Radio, the radio that's not on the radio. But guess what? We're on Spotify, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. So please give us a follow or a subscribe today. Thank you. Today is Saturday. We're back on our normal day, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those who are new here, this is DWE Radio. Please give me a follow on X. That's Miami the Great 305, and my co-host, Final Balls Baby with 2 B's, 1 Y CFO on X. And please give YouTube a subscribe on YouTube. That's Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube. Please go subscribe to that to us over there. Hope you go back and watch this later on if you did miss it, or share it with a friend. If you know someone who loves wrestling, please share that with a friend. Please follow us on Twitch, where that's DWE Radio on Twitch. Very easy to find. And also, once we get done with this will be on Spotify. That's also DWE Radio. So if you want to listen to this again as you're on the road, going down the road, you can. Today we're going to get into a lot of things today. I know a lot of talk is going to be about Cody Rhodes winning the championship for the 3rd time and going into WrestleMania, and it looks like he will be fighting Randy Orton, who's a mentor of his. We will run down that. I think me and Final Boss will give you our thoughts about that. Also, we will talk about Dominik losing the IC title, AJ Lee's Open Challenge, CM Punk's Roman Reigns promo from this Raw, man. I know a lot of people, well, it seems like everybody's kind of calmed down, so that's why I like DW Radio. We kind of let it simmer a little bit. So I think that's one thing we'll definitely have to get in and talk about. And Danhausen, his gimmick is now he's going around cursing people. We'll talk about him cursing Don, and also maybe teaming with the Miz. I got it before I went live. I had like a light bulb hit my head, and I can't wait to hear Final Boss thoughts about this Danhausen, maybe Miz pairing that they could be doing. We'll definitely talk about the Jade and Rhea Ripley's beef that led us to this yesterday's SmackDown. Was their promo. I don't think it was maybe the best. I don't think it was what we was seeing, but we'll definitely give y'all thoughts about that as we get on along today. We'll also talk about Road Dogg. Road Dogg has left WWE. He has left the production team. You know, he was the writer on SmackDown. There's now a new writer. They have a young lady on Raw that's taking over for creative. So Road Dogg has left WWE. So that's really interesting too. And yesterday we also had Charlotte and Alexa Bliss take Lonnie James and Giulia. And like I said, we have Cody Rhodes, that's now your United States, your undisputed champion once again. So let's get into that. I think we're going to start off today with the Cody Rhodes topic, that him winning it 3 times again. Before we start, how you doing, my co-host Final Boss Baby? Are you there? Do you hear me?
Yes, I'm here to let you know. But it's funny how Monday came around and I was really excited for this week's DW radio. Like I was like, man, Saturday's so far away. Can't wait to do it. And then some things happened in between then and then yesterday, and I'm like, I ain't want to do it no more.
Well,
You know, it's
well,
funny. It's funny how wrestling, how that happens, man. How you have, the good moments, and then other things come out, and you're like, oh, the next thing you know, like you're down in the dumps again.
I think you're talking about what happened with the whole Cody Rhodes thing. We'll kind of give the history of it. Cody Rhodes, as he's returned
Well,
to
well, I
no, go
know
ahead.
that's gonna be our first topic, but it's not even that. It's with some other things that kind of played a role into it.
Mm-hmm.
We heard, and we'll talk about this later, but we heard about, Road Dogg departed
Mm-hmm.
from WWE. Then the next thing we heard was, hey, there's gonna be 6 matches during WrestleMania's event. So we're like, and then we heard that also the new replacement writer. I don't know if this person's gonna be an intern or permanent part of creative, but it's a female. So we're like, okay, it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. Um, and then we really didn't see too much from it, from that transition from Road Dogg to the new person that's taking over his spot. Again, I don't know if that person's gonna be an intern or just for now. I mean, or sorry, or permanent. And then, we saw all these sparks and buzz, surrounding, Rhea's and Jade's interaction, online, social media. And then we finally got a face to face, yesterday, and it was something, but it wasn't what we expected. So there's a lot of pieces that has to inspire how I feel, not just about where we are going as far as the direction for WrestleMania. I mean, it's just different pieces to that.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that too. Yeah. Um, I mean, if you want to kind of get to that word, well, I feel like a lot of people are a little upset about the decision, and I think this is kind of the bleeds into the topic that we're on now, of the decision of putting the title back on Cody. I'm with you on that. When Road Dogg did step down, I was thinking, well, okay, this SmackDown is gonna, we'll see some type of difference, and I'm not gonna lie, Final Boss. This is kind of was worse than it ever has been. And that's my opinion. I don't know
Hmm.
your opinion. Did you feel the same way? But it wasn't good to me. It was we only got maybe two topics to talk about, maybe three. And like I say, you see the three topics we're talking about: Cody winning the title back, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss taking on Kalani James and Jillian, and Danhausen and Miz maybe teaming up.
And also I also want to talk about the Jade and Rhea interaction. But here's the thing: is that, hey, Road Dogg just
But
left. It
yeah,
was
but
reported that,
but
that he
I
left
do
on his own. That he resigned. He was frustrated with the direction of creative, just the direction, with creative in general, not just WrestleMania, but just the correction of the direction of creative. Now we don't know when was his last input, so we don't know if this past, episode, was the last pieces of what Raw Dog had inputted in. We don't know that, so we gotta kind of give it some time before we see some type of change. Now, will that change be, better or worse? That we don't know. But I think to go ahead and say, hey, he's gone and now it's worse than ever, it's kind of too early to tell because, hell, he just left this week. So we don't know if plans were already made for this episode before his departure. That part we don't know. I haven't seen any reports about that, but just kind of that's something to kind of just, buzz around your brain there is that, hey, we don't know what was the last thing he did before he left.
hmm Yeah, I mean that's true. Like I say, I'm not mad at the decision. It seems like they said they wanted to take the title off of Cody because they wanted him to be in the WrestleMania event. They wanted him to be in the Chamber event, and they were saying that this was the plan all along to put the title back on him going into Mania because they said they felt like this was going to be Randy versus Cody. But I feel like yes, it is the bigger match, Final Balls, but it came a little late because I think people wanted it for so long that now it's like, oh man, it's like maybe as we go along, because I think you reminded me this morning we got like 5 or 6 more weeks before we get to Mania. They can still build on it. They can maybe add some more people because we know that this Friday there will be a contract signing. I told you this morning. I said lately we've been saying how much they've been doing this Vince McMahon type of old school booking. What they and I throw the idea out to you where it can come in the contract that maybe someone comes down, you might get a Jacob attack everyone and sign the contract, and maybe someone else comes out and they sign a contract. We get this whole thing like, okay, what are we doing here? But they used to do that back in the day, and we'll have to see if that's the angle gonna go. Maybe it's just gonna be a contract signing. Someone goes to a table. They can do that too because they love doing those too. But I'm not mad about the decision. It's just the way they did it. I was like, well, I understand you say you wanted one of your big stars in Rumble. You try to want one of your stars in Chamber, but at the same time, it kind of killed the story as we went along into this WrestleMania event that's supposed to be one of the biggest events in WWE. It's supposed to be this event where we all supposed to want to watch it. It gravitates us and wants us to make us either watch it, go to it, or whatever you're tuning in from. You'll tune in from it from wherever you're at. So I'm looking at it in so many different ways. Final Boss. He won it. He wins it 3 times under 2 years, as you can see. I have in the clip here with us. He ever since he won it from Roman, he's dropped it, got it back, and dropped it again and got it back again. And I'm not. I won't be surprised this WrestleMania he drops it again to Randy because he's been really heavily teasing that 15. I think he wants to go past Triple H on that. So maybe he wants to pass Triple H. I wouldn't be surprised if he ties with Ric Flair and that's what he retires with because we know that Ric Flair was one of his mentors and he loves Ric Flair. So that's something I would not be surprised they would do with Randy before it's said and done. But am I hype about the match? It's too early to tell, like you were saying earlier. It's just, was the match okay? It was pretty obvious of what it was gonna do. Because once the ref went down, Final Boss, I was saying in my mind, either Jacob's gonna come out or Sammy's gonna come out here, later on. And I know we had a backstage segment with Sammy asking Randy, how do you do it? How did you, turn your back on one of your friends in Chamber and it doesn't eat your conscience up too. So, and I love Randy's response of, telling him, hey, you got to do what you got to do to get to the top, and listen to those voices in your head. And that's when you had, of course, Aleister Black come in and say it was in Randy's nature to, be that type of guy. And I was like, well, okay, maybe they're gonna get Randy to be in this whole thing here later on down the line. And I was like, well, we have to see where they're gonna go with it and how they're gonna book it, I guess. But as you said before we went live, man, there's a lot of hate on Cody. There's a lot of people didn't like the decision, didn't like the move. What are your thoughts on this whole Cody winning it for the 3rd time under 2 years? You have any thoughts about that, Final Boss?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, clearly Cody versus Randy is the bigger match.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, Drew, as great as he is, this was a guy who was, booked as being the chosen one from Vince McMahon. I don't know if you remember that because it's been so long.
Yeah.
Then he was let go. He went to TNA. He had a gimmick that I liked. His gimmick to me, it reminded me of like a mix between the Nexus and CM Punk because he wore a black shirt. He'll walk through the crowd, and his whole thing was, he stands up for professional wrestling, kind of like the voice of the voiceless, which is what Punk is, or well, what his
Mm-hmm.
character used to be back during those times before he left for 10, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what he did some other independent stuff after that. That I don't really know of. But then we got him back, and he's been in this position where he has a really good entrance, a really good look. We know the story about um how Vince let him borrow the sword for for its entrance for a while. Like we heard about that story. Him being the Scottish psychopath, he had that what we thought was gonna be something between him and Sheamus, but that fell flat. Um, and of course, he won the title. Then it was taken, right back around. Was on a losing streak. Then he came back up. So like, okay, well, finally we're at the point where hey, we're gonna get the Drew push. He looks great for his age, great entrance. Decent on the mic, pretty good in the ring. And this is where we are. But hey, when we got this title reign, 55 days, he only had one match since it, and this whole run with the title was the whole stick was he was kind of avoiding having conflict, like he was just on the way. So it was kind of a weird place to be. And at first I was like, well, maybe the whole thing is he's gonna run and run until WrestleMania, and then he has no choice but to face, face. But clearly that's not where the direction they were gonna go ahead and go. He was clearly a transitional champion. So I
Mhm.
think I I think even though we're saying hey we want Drew, hey and that's the hashtag is hey we want Drew, hashtag no more Cody, um hashtag Randy versus Drew. Those are the hashtags that are trending right now, on Twitter. Just so you know that way you got to put hashtag wrestling all the time. But it's I mean, if they would have just went with Randy versus Drew, was that going to be the bigger match? Yes, that is no. The bigger match on paper is him versus Cody,
Mhm.
and it doesn't take away from Drew McIntyre. Is just the poor execution of his booking, even before he won the title and during his 55 days of reign of having the title. I mean, this is where we are now with Cody. Like you talked about a few minutes ago, hey, they took that off of him. TKO WWE, because they wanted him to be in the chamber. They wanted him to be in Rumble. Of course, he lost all those things. And with hopes that it'll, get some butts and seats, get some eyes on the TV, on the stream. But I also had read that, Cody wanted to give Drew a push, and he also was more interested in, he thought it would be more of a bigger plot for him to be going into WrestleMania chasing the championship versus him going into Mania already being champion. He wants to have that thrill of the hunt, similar to his very, well, I would say his best run to WrestleMania was of course finish the story. He came into WrestleMania, won to finish the story of being a champion before age 40, and in WWE. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I guess they're doing that, but it looks like they swerved that and decide, hey, we're going to put it on Cody. Panic booking. Maybe we'll get some seats, some butts and seats. Cody is clearly over, more over than Drew. Not saying Drew's not over. Clearly, on paper, hey, Cody is a way bigger star than Drew, based on booking. And hey, this will be the right decision, for us going to the biggest show of the year. So on paper, it makes sense. I see why they did it. But the problem is how they got to this ending.
Mhm.
You put Cody, in Chamber, in Royal Rumble. He loses both of these things. Then we turn around. We know he has a match, you know, on SmackDown. Okay, we all knew what it meant. It's like either two ways. Either Cody's winning, or they're gonna turn it into a multi-man match. We all saw it far away, not even having to look into reports. Like we knew that just watching the show, because that's the direction we were going. Um, we knew Drew wasn't gonna win. We knew, hey, it was either gonna be, oh, Princess made an appearance on the show. Hey, Princess, welcome to DW Radio. Um, Um, but yeah, we knew it was gonna be either Cody was gonna win, or it was gonna be a multi-man match and have Drew in there in some regard. And we still might get that. We still, like you said, there still might be a way to build it where it does become a multi-man match, and there's some other twists and turns that happen with contract signings and weird stipulation things can happen. I mean, we got what 5, 6 more weeks till WrestleMania, so that is clearly a thing. But I think that by them just kind of pushing this match on a SmackDown, on a SmackDown, and we just came from two of the biggest PLEs, Royal Rumble, Chamber, both of those being, the last two big PLEs before the biggest PLE, WrestleMania, and you're putting us on a random SmackDown just because after Chamber, let's go ahead and give another shot. It feels rushed. Like, yeah, I get it. We're in crunch time now because WrestleMania is literally like next month. But it's just you had to find a better way to get us there. Um, and I think that's the true frustration. I don't think the frustration is about him just winning. I think it's about how he got that win and how we get there. And I understand it. Of course, like you mentioned, he's on number 3 for title wins. 2021, 2024, now 2026. I mean, like you said offline, I mean, who else we got back there? You know, Cena's gone, Styles is gone, Punk is already champion, and he's fighting Roman. Roman is fighting Punk, so we can't have Roman and Cody because you know there's that. He's already tied up in the match for night 2. Uh, Seth is back now. Now, granted, it could have pivoted and put Seth because look what happened. Division is mostly hurt. The bigger members are hurt, but then that leaves no direction for Vision at all. If they were to go ahead and do that, it will literally just pull everything. Yes, technically, they're on bare bones now because all we got left is Theory and Logan Paul. But if you were to go ahead and pull that whole Seth aspect of it, with Paul, with them two that's left, and with Paul Heyman, literally the Vision will have nothing to do at this point. It'll just be nothing, and then you'll kind of have Paul Heyman kind of just spinning in limbo. So we couldn't do that. So we had to still have Seth Rollins be a piece of the Vision, or what's left of the Vision at some point. So he's tied up. Can't do it. Of course, the Braun Breakers is out. With injury. So really, who do we have left? There's a Chick Williams right there, but I think it'll be too early. I don't think they will want that Chick Williams to have a big moment at WrestleMania and then of course lose to Randy because we all feel in our souls that Randy's going to win. Um, that's obvious now based on what he said about wanting to have another title reign under him before he leaves. So it would really undermine Chick Williams at this point. Can we get that eventually? Yeah, I think we're gonna get it pretty soon, but not right now. It would just undermine Trick Williams, too much. Could have Open Femi, but he's not built up to be that big star. Yes, he's built up to be dominant. Yes, people love him. Yes, he has a great look, but he's not the guy that's going to be selling out $5,000 tickets. He's not positioned that way in the company just yet because he recently was called up. So we really can't use him. I mean, so really, who do we have? Damian Priest. He's down the card as well. His championship reign was pretty bad. It was very lackluster. So what options do they really have? Of course, we have the whole interesting but strange character development for Sami Zayn that I am starting to really enjoy now. But again, is Sami Zayn on paper versus Randy on paper without any good build is on paper, is that the right money making decision. No, now I'm not saying that you can't have a Sami Zayn involved in a WrestleMania match. He absolutely should be, and I think he really is because we're seeing a lot of backstage stuff. We're seeing a lot of character development with Sami Zayn, as we always usually weirdly see around WrestleMania time. That's also a thing with Sammy. Um, but on paper, it makes sense. So someone was back there, in creative, maybe Triple H himself looked at the roster, looked at where we are as far as booking wise, and made the best decision based on what they presumed was going to be the bigger match, get the most butts and seats, and get the most eyes on the product, and that was Cody Rhodes. Now, unfortunately, it did not turn out that way. There's a lot of backlash into it, and I know they're probably stirring, backstage right now because there was a whole lot of dislikes on the Cody Rhodes win on the video on YouTube. You did mention to me that it actually beat the Usos, well, Jay Usos, record for the most dislikes on YouTube. So that's a big thing. Um, I mean, but what did you want them to do? Were we just gonna have just Drew and Randy? I mean, we could have did it, but on paper, it wasn't gonna be the money maker. It wasn't gonna be, probably. Well, we don't know for sure, but we have an idea that this might be our last WrestleMania in the States for quite some time, and we're at the point where we don't really have a lot of variable options right now. Of course, we're getting Roman, big star. Of course, we're getting CM Punk, big star. But I mean, other than that, I mean, what really are we getting? We're talking about men's right now, we're not on ladies just yet. Uh, I mean, I think I think TKO, WWE, Triple H, back creative is against the wall.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I do agree with you on that. It seems like they're scrambling, and that's why I said on the top, I wouldn't be surprised. Beating Jay had the highest one. If you don't know Boss, he had the highest dislikes. He held the record. And after that, then now Cody, I mean, he beat it way high.
Yeah, I remember
After
him
that,
having a.
yeah,
Yeah, I do remember. I remember him having that very, very large dislike. I do
mm,
remember that.
yeah. Now
Hmm.
Cody has exceeded
Hmm.
that, and that's crazy. And that I'm pretty sure, and I know everyone kind of laughs about it and says Triple H, but it's just not Triple H. We have to remember TKO too makes decisions too, and we got to understand that I think it's both. It's on both sides where this decision was made. Now, and I do agree with you. The way it was booked, it wasn't booked like I don't see it. I can't see how they could have did it no better. Now, I thought they was just gonna go and make it where Jacob was gonna interfere, and they was gonna just go ahead and add Jacob some kind of way, and that's how we was gonna
But
get to the point, just make it a 4-way and
but
just see
here's
if
but
they
here's the
was.
problem though, is that you don't
Mhm.
want to. Here's the thing though, having a four-way or a three-way, five-way, six-way, whatever way you want to go ahead and have it, because we did hear reports that the plan was to have a multi-man title match. We heard up to a six-way was what
Mhm.
rumors were speculating around. Um, But do you really want to have a six-way where you just throw in a whole bunch of random people into it? So you probably have three top guys and then two or three other down the card guys. It kind of undermines the match. Remember when we got that three-way for last year's Mania, which of course was Seth, Punk, Roman, and we had the whole thing lingering over Paul Heyman. Those are three of your biggest stars. So there was nobody that felt like the third wheel. There was nobody who felt like they were the lesser star, than anybody else. Now, granted, if you're a fan of one or the other, you're gonna feel, hey, differently. But on paper, those are your top guys. You can't have a match where you have, you know, your top guys um like Cody, whether you like him, or dislike him. Randy, who is a top guy, but remember, he just got back to being that top guy status booking wise because he was booked pretty poorly for a long time now. Long time. I don't think Randy has had good booking really since it was RK Bro, because he just kind of been floating around, which, granted, hey, he's a veteran, want to get other people's time to shine. He'll come back around to shine, when he wants to, which, his time is now. Shouts out to John Cena. Um, but having a match with Jacob, who had a lot of potential, who was great, we were super excited to have him come. But what his recent, and we're really happy also to see him in the solo stuff. We had that whole dissension. That was great stuff. But what his booking now just doesn't match. Sammy, maybe Sammy, because he's having this weird character realization change. So I can see within a few more weeks, which we have, it's gonna be pretty good with him. But then who else? We can't just throw it, because you know what happens when you throw top guys with people that are not positioned. And I keep using that because I don't want to say, hey, these guys are not top ability, because Jacob is, but it was talking about positioning. Um, it doesn't look good. A good example of that is Division. We had a top guy, Ron Breaker, top manager, Paul Heyman, but he's booked with all everybody else's mid card. Now, one can argue, hey, Bronson Reed, yeah, but hey, he had that great match against Roman, beat Roman, and it went nowhere. Other than that, yeah, he did something for when he teamed up with Roman. Remember that? I think it was Survivor Series, I believe it was, when they enlisted him like right the week before the PLE, but still really went nowhere. Um, but yeah, that's what we are. That's what happens when you put people that are positioned in the company to be lower in the card, and then you mix them in with top guys. You get division. So for them to mix someone like Jacob, who was positioned to be on the lower card right now, with a top guy like Cody, a top guy, like Randy, because again he got his revamp of booking again, and a top guy, Drew McIntyre, because he's been really up and down with booking, but he's always had that top guy feel to him, regardless of where they booked him. We all felt the same. He just feels like the odd man out, and it undermines the match. And let's be honest, this is what's hard to hear. When you do that, it does not make that card be main event status. It doesn't. We're talking about not just a match being an opener or a co-main event. We're looking at the actual main event of night one WrestleMania. That has to be the biggest match. You can't mix that with people who are positioned in a different level in the company. You just can't. It undermines it. Now, if they're looking at maybe at a different PLE, possibly. If we were looking at like a lower card PLE, a regular PLE, like a Backlash, maybe. I mean, hey, I guess Saturday night main events are here and there. Some are good, some are bad. Hell, we lost Cena and Goldberg to them, so hey, why not? Um, but to put it on the grandest stage of them all like that, to me, paper wise, doesn't make sense. And I think also that's what PKO, WWE also thought. And I don't blame them for that. But you gotta give them a lot of blame when it comes to the building of stars. We should not be at a point when we're weeks away from WrestleMania where we don't have any surefire stories. We don't have enough stars built up enough to even be your main event. At this point, we shouldn't be wondering like, oh, well, about a few weeks away, who they have back there that can be on a WrestleMania card. And then you're over there like, well, Sammy doing some good work. Trick Williams coming up. Maybe we might have Danhausen on there. Maybe the Miz on there with him. I mean, we shouldn't have to be pulling. We should be at the point when we're this close to WrestleMania when we're like, hey, man, what, we should name at least 4 or 5 stars, and we're like, hey man, what are they gonna do? Can't wait to see these 4 or 5 stars at WrestleMania. Man, I know for sure this is gonna be a good match. I know this is gonna be a great feud. we should be at this we should be at this point now,
Mm-hmm.
this close to WrestleMania. Remember last year, we were all down on the build of WrestleMania. We were frustrated. We were saying it was bad product. And then what happened? We got that whole big thing at Chamber, which, as we all know, we got The Rock, we got Cody, we got John Cena, and we got one of the greatest heel turns, not heel run. Very important that you say that now. Heel turns that we've seen in really decades, maybe of all time. And then what did we had? We had Triple H come out there during the press conference, and say what? Does it feel like WrestleMania? Like we're going to WrestleMania now? Yeah, you gotta give it a couple weeks. And they flipped us, and it changed us 180. Well, guess what? That the WrestleMania is pretty much over. Chamber is over. So what weeks is left now? There's no other PLE coming up. All we got left is just your regular shows, your regular SmackDowns, and and your regular Raws. The road to WrestleMania, there is no road. The road is it's just the TV shows. The road is gone. And 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 we're talking about Road, not Road Dog, because he gone too. But no, we're talking about the road to WrestleMania. And it's crazy how we're in this piece now where we're saying this, because remember we were down last year, because up until last year, we always had it built into our brains as wrestling fans, for years, for decades, for most of us, that the road to WrestleMania starts when? What was the old saying? Starts when? Royal Rumble.
Supposed to be after
Royal
Royal
Rumble.
Rumble, I thought.
Royal
Yeah, after
Rumble
right
was the
after Royal
start to
Rumble.
what? Yep. No, not after. That
WrestleMania.
at Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Royal
yeah,
Rumble was
yeah,
always it
yeah.
was always used to be that road to WrestleMania. We will always say, as wrestling
Mhm.
fans, the road to WrestleMania starts at Royal Rumble. That has always been cemented in our brains. But then last year happened with poor booking, and we were pissed. And then we had so hey, they blew us away at Chamber. You had Triple H put it in our brains since last year's Chamber that nope, that's not true anymore. The road to WrestleMania does not start at Royal Rumble. It starts now at Chamber. So we're like, okay, fine. That means that this year coming up, which is, this year, that hey, the road to WrestleMania starts at Chamber. Well, what now, Triple H? Because Chambers is over now. So what are you gonna say? The Road to WrestleMania starts 2 weeks, the 2 week Raw before WrestleMania.
Well, we haven't really heard much from him. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
I
you
mean, I
seen
mean, I
on
mean,
the
I'm just
after
being
the chamber,
facetious
what was
now,
he at? He
but
didn't even come on the panel.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I understand what you're
Um,
saying. I understand what you're saying.
but I'm being facetious now, but yeah, that's what we are. We're in a bad
Hmm.
spot, and we can hound this all day, but everyone knows it. The fans know it. You know, TKO knows it. WWE knows. Triple H himself knows it. Everyone knows we're in a bad spot. And yeah, there were some things that were out of his control because we got a number of injuries. Braun Breaker being a big one. Seth Rollins, even though he's back now, but being out for such a long period of time, building up to WrestleMania was also, a huge factor. Um, uh, it, of course, well, I'm not talking about the women right now, but Bianca's also, a major factor not back in time. So, there's also has been some outside elements that had to do, with this. But hey, there was a documentary that came out, a while ago, and it was said that Triple H likes to have by what, like 80% done by October, and then kind of figure out the other 20, from October to WrestleMania time. But he likes to kind of have it all, have 80% of that, so figured out, planned out by October. Well, clearly that's not the case for this year, because here we are, and we have four confirmed matches right now that we know of, and that's what that is. Of course, CM Punk and Roman Reigns. This is going to be our main event of night two. It's always supposed to be the biggest night now. I guess that's a thing. Um, now we have night one, which of course is Cody versus Randy. We have Liv Morgan and Stephanie Valkyrie, or like Cole said, Valkyrie. And we have Jade versus Rhea, and that's the only four confirmed matches that we have at WrestleMania right now. And that's for
Mm-hmm.
2 nights. Now, granted, now we was on a one night, which has been some quite some times we had a one night. I'd be like, okay, we're in a good spot. But now we're being two nights now, and so we really only have two matches per night that is set in stone. And here we are as of this recording, March the 7th. I mean, do we have time? Yeah. But this time right now in March should be, we know the matches. Let's focus on the build of getting to WrestleMania with the match that is set up. Instead, we're doing half few with matches that are set up, of course, like Roman Punk, like Jade, Rhea. But we're also spending the rest of that time trying to figure out what's the other matches. And
Yep.
how are you buying tickets now? Because it's kind of like, hey, these, when it comes to shows like WrestleMania, especially with it being in Vegas, which is a tourist attraction. Yeah, we talk about the downfall of Vegas because Vegas is not making the amount of tourism like it used to be. A lot has to do with financial situations and the economy and things like that. A lot of stuff is out of their control, and of course the changing dynamic of today's generation, where people are not really into being outside and traveling. People are more into online things like that. And just part of the involvement of the world, and generations, and where we are, and blah blah blah, and then inflation, and blah blah blah. But I mean, you have to think about it. It's people who are going to WrestleMania. We know tickets are absolutely, sky high right now. But most people have to travel to a place like this that is a tourist attraction. So you gotta think about travel packages. The plane ticket. Your lounging, your food, and everything else that comes, in between that. So for most people, especially if you're going with someone, if you're going by yourself, it's a little bit different. But if you're going with as a couple, or as especially as a family, you got to kind of put that months in advance, weeks, months in advance. Because one, you got to be off work to get there. You got to have your finances in a good spot to be there. You got to make all those travel arrangements to be there and have everything go smoothly. But how could someone, really do that? And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the local people that are, in close areas, vicinities. Like if you're in, like, California, or any real close proximity of it, and, on the West Coast. Some of those who are, states and states away on the other side of the country. You've got to have plans to actually do it. I mean, it's a trip, it's an event. How can someone do that where, hey, we're, less than 2 months in now, or 2 months away now, and we don't have an idea of who's there? How do I know if I want to go? How do I know if I want to see? Now, if y'all pull something out of a hat, which WWE is known to do, back us against the wall, they'll find something, and they'll shock us, they'll wow us, and we'll say, "Oh my God, it's the best thing since sliced bread," which I don't like bread, but best thing since mango smoothies. Um, and then we'll all jump for joy. But there's gonna be a lot of folks that say, "Hey, would love to go, can't do it because too late of a notice." I mean, so, and that's on booking. But I'm gonna pass it back to you, Miami. I know we have a caller in today who said they are here. So I don't know if you want to say
Yes,
something
yes.
else, or you want to
We
go
got a
ahead
lot of
and
callers.
bring and bring our live caller in today.
Yes, we got a caller. We got a lot of comments. We're going to get to that. Shouts out to our caller. Thank you for coming, being our first caller here on DW Radio episode 10. Hope that we got more people. I put the link on my page. I put the link in the chat. I put the link inside of where we're at now.
Oh, we
So
are
hopefully
episode 10,
we're on
10,
episode
10,
10, and
10.
we have our
Yeah, look,
first caller
Ty
today,
Dillinger.
Caleb. Yeah, it's Caleb. How you doing, Caleb? Are you there?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Oh, how you doing, Caleb? So, what was your thoughts about SmackDown yesterday, and also with Cody Rhodes winning the United States title, man?
Bro, that was shocking, and I don't know if he's gonna beat Randy and at WrestleMania. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was telling Final Boss before we got on here. I don't
Hmm.
think so too. They have been heavily teasing Randy of winning 15. Do you like how
Mm.
the way the booking's been going so far, and how they did to get
On
Randy
Raw, yes.
Cody back the title?
On Raw, yep. I don't know about SmackDown, but on Raw, yes.
Yeah,
And the
Mm,
booking
yeah.
okay,
booking
okay.
last night was good. Cody versus Drew, yep.
So
Mm, okay.
you're
Okay.
saying
So well,
you
so
do
so
like the
so
Drew
we got a
Cody.
rarity. We got a rarity. He said he
Yeah,
liked the booking of
yeah,
it. Mm,
yeah.
mm.
So
And
what you
that's and
been
that
so Caleb,
and that's so
what you been
good that
liking
we
so
have
far?
somebody on the other side who actually likes the booking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Caleb, so what you been liking so far on SmackDown that's been like keep catching your interest so far?
I like the just the Cody versus Drew, and that's it.
I mean, hey, it's something better than that. I mean, hey, so give them
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought they was gonna do something weird where they was gonna probably add some more people. I thought they was gonna maybe add Sammy. Right
Sammy,
now,
yep.
especially the way I know Final Boss said something about Sami Zayn. Do you like the direction they're doing with Sammy so far?
Yeah, Sammy turned them into a heel. Yeah, I like that. I think Sammy's gonna be the next number one contender for the title.
Oh, really? So you think he's
Yeah, I
gonna go
think
for it
so.
this year?
Yeah, this year. Yep,
Oh
he's
man.
gonna go for Cody
I would
or
like to see it
Randy.
because the way they've been teasing, yeah, I would like to see it. I do like the way they've been kind of teasing that slow building his heel turn. I think before he turns, I do agree with Caleb. They might do one more match with him and Cody, and that could turn him.
Yep.
We'll have to see later on down the line. I don't think he wins it, but I do think they might do one more match before he turns. And I got him actually, kid. I got him winning next year, because they're gonna do Saudi and Mania. So that's what I think so far, Caleb. But
Yeah,
you're excited. So you're saying you are excited about the Randy and Cody right now?
yeah,
I mean, the build for me, Caleb, has not been what I thought it was going to be, but we do, like Final Boss said earlier, we got a lot of more time. I mean, people have been wanting this match lately, so far, but we'll have to see. But you said you been liking Raw too.
yeah. Right.
What? No, go ahead. What you
Led
been
by the
liking on Raw?
led by the Dom, the ending of Judgment Day. I think Liv and Dom and going to bring Rockman and JD to leave Finn and Raquel.
Yeah, the way they did it, yeah, I think now it is weird they did it. Um, with the whole, I know the Danhausen curse came along
Yeah,
and all
Ben
that,
Houghton. Yeah.
but yeah, but I still, it was weird the way they did it. I thought they was actually gonna have Finn and Dom go for the title, but I guess maybe they're gonna they maybe went a different direction. Like I say, we're
Yeah.
gonna probably get a little bit of that here later on DW Radio. But yeah, Kayla, it's been really interesting the way they've been doing things. Um, I haven't. I mean, the way the booking on SmackDown, I've been actually liking Raw a little better. Now, Raw has had its ups and
Yeah,
downs, but SmackDown hasn't not caught that heat. Really seems like since maybe Bianca's been gone. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie, and
Beyonce's been gone. I don't know when she's coming
yeah,
back.
yeah, that's that. Yeah, I don't know either. So it just seems like it has same as it been for me, Caleb too. But we'll have to wait and see. Especially like how
Yep,
Final Ball said, she said, now with Road Dogg being gone, we'll have to see where we're gonna go when where they're gonna go with Road Dogg and with his absence, now we have to see where we're gonna go with the booking. Like I said, yesterday was not maybe not one of the best shows. Matter of fact, I told before you came on here, and I don't know if you heard. I said, man, it was not one of the greatest shows for me. But
yeah,
yeah, Kayla, I just that's my feeling. But I mean, what's your thoughts?
yeah. It's not bad in Raw. Their booking, except for the Cody booking, has not been that good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. We'll definitely have to see. Are you one last question before we let you go? Are you excited about WrestleMania already? About the Punk and Roman match. And are you already said you were excited about the Cody and
Yeah,
Randy? Are
I'm
you
excited
excited
about
about Liv
the.
and Stephanie?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about WrestleMania. I hope they have more matches in their card.
Well, we definitely hope that. I mean, the way they're putting
Yeah,
these prices up, they about to have more than the matches they got now. One
yeah.
last question: Did you like the CM Punk and Roman Reigns promo? Was it
I
too
did
far?
like.
I think that's
Yeah,
was it
CM
too
Punk went
far or
too
was
far,
it just
and
right? What was for you? Say it
CM
again.
Punk went too far, and I hope Roman beat him at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, Roman definitely man. Roman's probably
Yeah,
gonna kill that man.
yeah.
not beat him. He's gonna probably kill him. But yeah, I feel the same way, Caleb. Like I say, thanks for coming. Episode
No
10. You
problem.
are our first caller on DWE Radio, man. We hope we get some more people. We did put out the link. You're always welcome here every Saturday to call in and give us your thoughts about the week of SmackDown or Raw,
Yep,
whichever we'll be talking about, or the
yep,
PLE, Caleb. So thanks for
yep.
being our first
Yeah,
caller, man. Thanks for coming
yeah, no
by,
problem.
man. All right, thanks,
Goodbye.
man. Yeah, so that was our first caller here on DWE Radio. Shouts out to Caleb, man. He's stopping by DWE Radio. Let's get to some of these comments and then we'll get to our next topic. Here, shouts out to my boy Z. Shouts out to you. Let me give everyone a shouts out on the DWE crew. Shouts out to After the Slam. Please follow After the Slam podcast and please follow the Golden Boy of DWE. That's EVP from the EBP show. Please give him a sub and also give us a sub. That's Talking Up Podcast. Shouts out to Z. He's a good friend of ours and always in the show. So glad to see you're here today. Z. Aaron, shouts out to you. Says I hope I'm not late. I'm not coming out late. No, you're not coming. You're not late. We're not late. No one's late. Speaking of our golden boy, EVP, he's here. He said, hey, so shouts out to you. And like I say, we put up the link. You can see on our page if you want to give me a follow or the Talk It Up page a follow. Give me a follow on X. That's Miami the Great 305. Or also follow us on the Talk It Up podcast on X. That's Talk It Up podcast. Or give us a sub on X. That's Talk It Up podcast on X. And also we are live on Twitch. That's DWE Radio on Twitch. And we're also on YouTube if you're following us already. And subbing us on YouTube. So please give us a follow on all of those. That's our page on Talk It Up podcast. So give us a shout out. But we're going to move on to the next topic of today. Since we're kind of on SmackDown, I'll brush through SmackDown. So once my co-host comes back, we'll be on Raw because I'm going to save the Raw stuff for her later because she didn't catch SmackDown. But I did want to conversate about the Charlotte and Alexa Bliss and Kalani James and Giulia match. Has WWE forgot that Giulia is the United States title? And this kind of makes me say that I didn't want to say it, but I think it's so many injuries, especially with the injury that happened with Jordan Grace yesterday. They said it was an ankle. I did see the video. I think I seen it today. And man, I was like, oh man. So now her and Chelsea Green both have an ankle injury. I did see the picture with her being in Chelsea's wheelchair. I think Chelsea's almost there near about to come back. I know she's still in the boot, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably have Jordan Grace in the boot here. I think it was a dark match between Jordan Grace and Alba Fire. So there has been a lot of injuries from the women. Naomi has already had her child, so she's been out. We all know Bianca's had a hand injury. She's just trying to recuperate. Who else am I missing that's hurt that's been out? I think that's about it. I might could be missing someone, guys. If I miss someone, just let me know. But that's the people I can think of off the top of my head. But there has been a lot of people out. It seems like they're keeping Charlotte and Alexa Bliss in a tag team, which I don't mind because the tag team vision, we do got to keep that kind of interesting. We do know, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago that Last Legend and Nia Jax was going for the titles, and they actually did win the tag team titles. So now they're our new women's tag team champions, and they did their celebration, and they kind of had a match. Now I don't know for sure. I thought it was maybe a contenders match. I could be wrong. For the tag titles, I don't know if it's going to be a contenders match for Mania or just on a random SmackDown because we're still kind of far away from Mania. But I did know that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte did pick up the win yesterday. I know Charlotte really loves Kalani James. I mean, Kiana James a lot. So, and she really wants to heavily push her. That's why when she had the match when they was qualifying for the chamber, that's why she won. And that was why I was like, that was kind of crazy they did that. But it wasn't a bad match. It was a pretty decent match. It keeps the tag team women's championship pretty interesting. I think me and Final Balls, we talked about it off camera, off air. Well, whatever they're doing with the Bellas, it seems like they forgot about them. I don't. We just had one promo with the Bellas saying they was going to go for the tag team titles, and we haven't seen them since they said that promo. So I don't know if you're going to get them back involved here real soon. I feel like you do need them because we do need someone fresh. I don't know no one else who they'll call up unless they're going to get someone from NXT to be called back up again. We'll have to wait and see what they do, what direction they go. But like I said, I did like the match between Charlotte and Alexa. Charlotte and Alexa versus Kalani James and Jillian. Great match. Like I say, we'll see what they do. I think, like I say, they did qualify for a number one contender for the tag team titles. Like I said, I would like them to add back the Bellas because it seems like they forgot that they was going for the tag titles because that is someone fresh. I can't barely think of no one on Raw because all I knew about was Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. They was maybe your top tag team women on Raw. And it seems like Io Sky is going for that IC title that AJ Lee has, which we will talk about here a little bit later. But other than that, like I say, I don't think Final Boss will have any comments about this because I don't know if she really caught that part of SmackDown. Do you have any comments about the Alexa Bliss and Charlotte going for the tag title, the women's tag titles Final Boss?
Yeah, so I did see them come out. I saw that Lash Legend um and Nia Jax had a celebration. They were interrupted. Um, so I did see all that, and you're correct. Where hey, we don't have a lot of women's tag teams, and yeah, the biggest women's tag team were of course Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Um, and of course that's gone now because Rhea is on SmackDown, and going for the championship, and then Io Sky is on Raw, and she's gonna do other things. Um, eh, And yeah, I don't know any other real opponents. Now I would say, a good idea would be Liv and Roxanne, because Roxanne is out injured. Liv and Raquel, but hey, we can't have that either because Liv is going for the championship against Stephanie Valkyr. So who do we have now? Of course, we had the her service with Alba Fire and Chelsea Green, but Chelsea Green has, of course, the foot issue, so that's not even an option for us anymore. We don't have Piper Nivens in the team anymore because Piper Nivens is going through a very serious neck injury. So we're down to two on just the her service.
Hmm.
I mean, so who really do we have? We can't really pair up as Zelina Vega with someone because she's doing things with with Aleister Black, and it kind of diminishes the character for her just to be with some random girl and then coming out with Aleister Black. It doesn't look great. The only way that actually will make sense if she keeps up with someone like Rhea Ripley because they have that whole, you know, rock, punk rock slash spooky gimmick. So, but I don't think they're gonna do that because of course Rhea's going for championship. So really, again, who do we have back there?
I don't
And
know, Final Boss. That's what I was saying.
I
Cause
never watched,
it,
and I never watched. What is it? The Unreal. Is that what it's called? I never really
okay.
watched that. It's not really hasn't been my thing. I don't watch a lot of TV like that. Outside of wrestling. Uh, I did see a clip because of course, Road Dogg has the part WWE creative. Um, where it was Triple H asking him a question about, how can, and I forgot what wrestler they were referring to about who they want to book, but
pro-
they named
probably
all.
R truth. It's probably R truth. I'm guarantee it's R truth.
Mm,
That was the one that went
no,
real viral.
no, no,
It was it?
no. We're talking about women right now.
Oh,
On the
well,
women.
Chelsea
Oh
Green.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Chelsea
yeah.
Green.
Was it? Okay, it might
Chelsea
have agree.
Green.
But yeah, they're talking about okay.
It was two of them went viral. So Chelsea Green and R truth. So it had to be probably one of those two.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, we're in a woman right now, but yeah, so he gave Road Dogg the position, like, hey, we have Alexa Bliss, we have this person, we have that person, this is where they're on the card, this is where they're on the card. So how can we book her where she's not going over the main card people, but he asked them that, and he was like, well, don't know. So I mean, yeah, we're talking about creative, and Road Dogg is veteran in business, so. Who do we have back there? Who do we have back there in the ladies tag team division? You know, to go against Nia Jackson and Last Legend. And remember, Nia Jackson, Last Legend. Franken team. They were put together. In hopes, and I think it's working, but in hopes that we get Last Legend someone to work alongside her that is more seasoned than her. She's a new up and comer. Non wrestling background came, went to NXT, did great things, and it was time for her to be called up. We wanted to pair her with someone. So who do we have? We couldn't have. Naomi is out with baby. Um,
Mhm.
you know, Bianca's out with injury. So, we are really lacking in the women's tag team division. And in general, I mean, are we surprised? No, because we've been lacking in the men's tag team division, especially I would say about a year and a half ago, real bad. Now we have a good amount of men tag teams. Now, are they top level tag teams as far as placing booking on the card? No, a lot of them have been positioned to be very very mid card. Now that is again not saying the rest of the mid card, but we're talking about again placement. The WWE has placed them on the card, but we do have a number of groups. But with the women, we just don't have it now. With the Bellatons, we haven't seen them in a month. We have Bree return at Royal Rumble. We had them appear on the next Raw after that. And then we haven't seen them ever since. Now, what I did see, because you know how I feel about Nikki Bella, um, that they did reply back to the clip of the celebration of the tag team champions, with Last Legend and Nia Jax, and they said, "Oh, it would be better if we had, if we could celebrate it with Bonitas, with the Bellas." So it's given that whole kind of idea in my head that hey, the Bellas are probably gonna challenge for those tag team championships, which would be really really great for them because of course when the Bellas were in their prime, we didn't have such things. A lot of these titles was they're very very new to the women's division. Of course, the United States Championship super new, IC super new, tag team new-ish because remember we did have the tag team champion chip belts back when sorry, wrong word. Vince, sorry, Vince, titles. We had a tag team titles.
Yeah,
Back when
you hate that word
yeah,
there, boy.
don't call it a belt. We had a tag team titles, championships, back when Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, was around. So you look at that time period, because of course we got the famous walkout of her and Naomi walking out as tag team champions from the company. So now looking at that as a timestamp period of how long they've been around, we have had it for a number of years because Mercedes has been going for quite some time. So the women's tag team championships have been around for quite some time, and we have yet to really build to have a good amount of women's tag teams. Now that was one of the frustrations that did come out um during that whole walkout with Sasha Banks, now known as Mercedes Moné, and Naomi, because like, hey, what do these championships mean? We're not defending them. What do these mean? They're just here. So that was always an issue. But you think you'll learn from that experience and we'll have more women's tag teams, which, okay, we did have some. Of course, we did have, Rhea EO, but again, Frank and team that was made because we had the whole interaction with the Kabuki Wars and everything, so we have, of course, the Kabuki Warriors, but, yeah, but they just lost it. So I don't know. So, we can't really use them again. You know, we had, a dabble between Liv and Raquel and Roxanne, but Roxanne is out, so we did have them. We had the Her service, which had three women, which is also really good, but of course, unfortunately, Piper Niven's neck injury, Chelsea Green on injury, she's on screen, but we're still down one person, so we can't really have Chelsea Green not doing things until she's fully healed. Um, we also, we got Me Chin and B-Fab maybe,
Mm,
but then we got that weird interaction where Me Chin was bulking up to Jay a couple
Jade.
weeks ago, saying that she wanted to go for a championship. But hey, but as far as on paper, because where's that little B-Fab then? So, hey, so we have B-Fab Me Chin right there. I mean, can they get a title shot? I think that to go ahead and start really looking around for those women's tag teams. But here,
Yeah,
but that's your option. B-Fab Me Chin.
yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, Final Boss. That's what direction I was thinking they was gonna go when they came back, but they inserted them into the main card picture. Matter of fact, this coming up Friday is supposed to be Me Chan versus Jade. So um maybe something weird will happen where they can be involved with the tag team because it seems like that's what they want to do with them because they have paired them up for quite some time. B Fab and Me Chan, that's what I'm speaking about. But I don't know, Fine Balls. I do agree with you. That is somebody fresh, someone new. I think maybe they're just waiting. You know how they wait out the WrestleMania so they can give us these new stories, new beginnings. Seems like we have a reset, I will say, on things. So maybe that's what they're waiting for. But we're gonna need somebody very quick, especially right after WrestleMania. And I will not be surprised to be those two Final Balls. But other than that,
Mm,
you got any more last thoughts?
not about the women now. Of course, they can go ahead and make some call ups from NXT or have a transition over from TNA. But I don't really watch those products like that, so I wouldn't know who the names are. That's the wrong person. But that's always an option. But I don't think we're going to see that right now because we got a whole bunch of call ups as of late. We got,
I,
of
I
course,
wish,
of course, Last Legend and and
but
Jordan Grace, who was,
they just,
but we got
they,
all those.
yeah, they just broke up so Ruka and her tag partner, so I don't see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zamara. Um, but yeah, so and again,
yeah.
but the problem is that we haven't really gotten a a call up of two together. Like we knew, like we know Jakara Jackson, well, Jakara
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
and Last Legend were together. What happened? They had them break up, and of course, unfortunately, especially for Miami, they let her go. Now she's back in TNA. But we didn't get a chance to
Oh
have them
my
be called
god.
to be called up together. Now, then we had we had Giulia and who it was Giulia and who was Giulia with when she was called up? She was called up with someone.
Well, when did someone come up? I thought Jillian came. I thought she came
Yeah,
up by
no,
herself.
no. We had a
Oh, well, she
turn.
oh, you're saying who else she got caught up with? Oh, she came up with
Yeah,
Roxanne
yeah.
and them. Oh,
No,
return. Oh,
no.
return.
No, I have to look it up.
Um,
I'll Google it in a second. But yeah, she was called up, and then we had got a turn, so we did. So that's another person who tag team that we lost, and of course, like you said, with Sol Ruka and Zara, like we got this turn, so we won't get that call together either. So it's not like they were making a big stride to call up
yeah,
teams up together. I have to look and see
yeah.
because I remember that turn. I think it was on a Raw. Let me go look.
Okay. Well, while you're looking that up, I'm gonna this kind of transition since we're on the women and we're still on SmackDown. Let's talk about the whole. I think we'll break down. This is like a 2-in-1 kind of segment where the Jade and Rhea Ripley Twitter beef we seen over the past week that it was at first everyone was questioning was it kayfabe, was it real. You seen Piper Niven get involved. You seen Jax get involved. You seen Jack. Now I'm looking back at it. Rhea was like, "Hey, you had all that stuff to say on online. Come out here and say it in my face." So I was like, "Oh man, we might get a little something." But the promo, and this is me speaking, I know Fine Boss you feel a little different about it. It felt, I wouldn't say it just didn't feel. I didn't want it to get too crazy. Like I understand they didn't want another Charlotte and
Maybe
Tiffany
she didn't. I
incident,
could have
which is okay.
swore.
I'm fine with it.
I could have swore that Gilead came up with someone and she had a turn, and that's why they put her
No,
with James. No. Hmm.
no, okay. I thought you said
I
Jillian. That's why I
thought.
said when you said Jillian, I was like, no, she
Yeah, I
wasn't with
thought
no
she
one.
came up with
I know.
someone, and
Well,
they
I know
turned
she
on her,
came
and she
up.
had a
Well, no,
turn.
you
Maybe
might be
not.
thinking that because I know she came up with She came up with Roxanne. She came up with it was her, Roxanne, and Lash. I think all of them
I could have
came up
swore, but yeah, I guess
around
I
the
have,
same
yeah.
time.
But
That
hey, the other
I think
option would
that's what
have
you were thinking
been,
about.
yeah, but here's the other option though, before we go back to the Jade and Rhea stuff. Hey,
Mm.
if they weren't kind of teasing things and really trying to push James, they could have had Gilia and James be a viable contender, contenders for the tag team championships.
Well, it does seem like that's the direction they're going, but I think they forgot
But
that the
they're
girls are the United
pushing
States
Kiana.
champion. Well, yeah, that too, but like I say, once again, the girls the United States champion. Did they forget that?
The double belts. But yeah, but going to
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
going to the Rhea and Jay thing. Um, I was really confused, and Maggie was also really confused on X about what was going on between those two because we saw all these ramblings. We saw like Sean Ross Sapp's name kind of get thrown out in there. We weren't quite sure what was going on, but after reading reports, so here's the walkthrough, his play by play. Here's a stick. So apparently, it started off as being just a regular social media, which is why, hey, they said that we have to stop doing that. Social media bill for, of course, their interaction. And you had Rhea talk about how, she has been headline WrestleMania for years. And, come to find out, she has gone for seven titles at WrestleMania, five of them in the main events. So she was talking about that on social media, and then it kind of, went left from there. We had, like Miami said, Nia Jax, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven come to the defense of Rhea. Um, and we talked about this really last week, but but there was speculation that there was a lot of actual real heat. There was some reports that it was probably a work. There was some reports that it was a work to turn into a shoot. So we were all really excited about what was going to happen face to face this Monday. I mean, sorry, this Friday, the SmackDown. And we got it. And hey, here's what we got.
Mhm.
We got um Jay looking great, nice purple coat, nice sunglasses, look great. Said, hey, to Rhea, you might have bigger hands than me. No, 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 no. She said, I have bigger hands than you. I have bigger legs than you. Um, and hey, she's that bitch. And you had Rhea come back and do which I thought was weird because it was like, okay, the whole thing wasn't about what we saw on social media. And social media, it was more about how Jay was entitled, how Jay, she didn't want to work a holiday tour according to what was kind of hinted at by Piper Nivens. That but Rhea on the other hand, according to Jade, that she's back there spending all her time in creative, and that's why she is WrestleMania, main eventing, or at least being at all of these WrestleManias for back to back years. And we didn't get any of that set. It's kind of like, hey, somebody must have been backstage and said, hey, I don't want to kind of reopen scars. So they pivoted from that and went to, hey, well, we're both strong women, but I'm the strongest woman. Not the EST, no, not Bianca. Bianca's out on, doing therapy, but they're saying, hey, I'm bigger than you, so that's why I'm the best. So it was weird that Jay came out and was talking about, hey, in the gym, hey, physique wise, hey, I have a better physique than you. But I did like Rhea's comeback because Rhea said basically what we've all have heard other people ramblings about, and what we have probably said as wrestling fans, as podcasters, that, and we said it for years, like, hey, Jade has a really good look. She looked talented, tall, 100% muscle, you know, good face card, yeah, physique is there. But her in ring ability is really lacking. Now, granted, we give her a lot of grace, because she is new to wrestling. Um, and the thing is that, and she was also placed on a pedestal because of her looks, because, hey, she came from AEW, was presented as a powerhouse, as she should be, but by the way, trained by Daniel Bryan, which is now known as, of course, Daniel Bryanson, but never really was good in ring. And we're like, well, so it looks like $1 million. So, she'll probably go to NXT. Nope. She was one of the very few that's glazed right over that. And the only ones I really know who glazed right over NXT was really her Styles. And I don't know if you can name any that has been a call up from another company that has kind of passed through right over NXT to the main roster, but those are the two that I can really remember. But yeah, she came right to the main roster, and this is where we're at. They put her with Naomi, they put her with Bianca in hopes that she'll learn from these veterans, because you have Naomi, who is a clear veteran, absolutely amazing in the ring. Um, not her move set is very athletic, which makes sense because she has that whole dancer background. So she's using that to be very high fly, athletic, does all these great moves in the ring, fast paced, probably one of the fastest paced women on the roster. But so you're looking at, okay, well, here's your option. But we also got Bianca, who is one hell of an athlete, great fast pace, but is more on the Jade side because she has also this very very unique physique where she is clearly bodybuilding, but is able to mix bodybuilding with also with speed. So on paper, hey, let's put you with these two lovely ladies who either, hey, do you want to be more of a Bianca where you're cross between, hey, being a powerhouse and having um some athleticism, is that the right word? Or do you want to be more athletic, use that, and geared towards Naomi? So really, they kind of gave you like two ways to go. Hey, learn from these two and kind of figure out what style would be the best for you, which is smart. Now they all happen to be African American, so they cause they ran with that, which also is great because now we have the role models for all the girls coming up. And she got a lot better, but nowhere near where we needed her to be. Of course, she injured, a whole lot of folks, including Tiffany Stratton, of course, one of the mentors, Bianca. Well, no, she didn't take Bianca. That actually was Rhea. My bad. But but she has had a number of injured stars. She had gotten herself injured. She had the gash, and well, I won't say she got something. She got injured in the match, got the gash. Um, and so we didn't really get a lot out of her. Her matches have been very, mm, she chose to go the powerhouse way, which is makes sense for her. But her matches haven't been the best. And then she won a championship, and she hasn't had any matches since she won, and it's been about 3 months. So here's WWE kind of looking at it like, hey, where can we go from here? And I think always a plan. And now it's reported now that the plan was to have her versus Bianca, which makes sense because, hey, she was a protege really of Bianca because she learned the business really from her, someone similar to her. Um, and we have these two major powerhouse women that look like $1 million face to face for a title. On paper, it looked absolutely great, but unfortunately, Bianca didn't make it back in time as far as her recovery. So, what can we do? What can we do now? And that's really what Rhea's promo kind of leaned into. Like, hey, yeah, he may look like $1 million, and her words were, hey, your body is for aesthetics. You look great, but my body is built for fighting, but for matches. Now, here's my point. Well, we all know that Rhea Ripley ain't the really best in the ring, and no one's talking about how great Rhea is in the ring. I don't remember anybody ever saying that Rhea is really great in the ring. I don't really remember Rhea being praised for having great matches, but she's praised for what? For having a really good look. And her really good look has nothing to do with her being this powerhouse. Yeah, granted, when she first came up to the main roster, she did look great because she had these really big shoulders and she didn't really have abs, but she had these really broad shoulders. She's really tall, and it just looked really, really good on her. But then she lost a lot of muscle, and we all seen that. But she still had this really good look to her. She has this whole dark look. She has my favorite woman's entrance right now is hers. Great song. Um, Great gimmick. The whole mommy thing. Of course, which stems from the whole Dominik run. That she had Judgment Day. Um, so really to hear Rhea say, hey, you're for aesthetics, even though it's true. A lot of people feel that way, opinion wise. Rhea, you're kind of known for the same thing, but not so for having this really good look as far as physique, but having a really good look as far as a gimmick look on your character. So it's kind of like really weird to hear, but I did like Rhea's, comeback. Um, I would have liked Jade to bring up the whole thing she talked about on social media, how you were the number two choice. It really supposed to be Bianca. Bianca couldn't make it back in time due to injury, so they wanted the next best option, which was you. You were plan B, and not that was the case. Not saying that Rhea was going to have a match at WrestleMania. She probably definitely was, but it wasn't going to be against her. But we kind of strayed away from that. But and I know that Miami has said, well, maybe it's because it really was a work and, it didn't feel like, but maybe it was designed that way because WWE wrote it so that way they didn't kind of have emotions kind of fly and they didn't want to bring up any of the points that was said on social media because they didn't want to open scars and have it go left. So maybe there is some actual real tension, between those two and they didn't want to make it worse. Because one thing you can do, as everyone knows, someone has a conflict, is to bring up what caused the conflict or what sent them the conflict in the get go. We've seen how the whole Tiffany and Charlotte thing, how that went left. They went off script and it became, a bad thing for those two. Great for us, bad for them. So they didn't want that this time. Especially the fact that, hey, we're close to WrestleMania. We're trying to get matches together. We want this to go well. And you guys are, physically, our biggest women, on the roster. Yes, Nia Jax is a powerhouse. She's a different kind of powerhouse where she's more about just really size and not physique. And she's lost a lot of weight. She said this lost over 100 pounds. Um, and of course, like Legends also, really tall too, but physique wise, it's right now it's those two with Bianca being out. So let's just shake hands, let's move it over, let's have you guys have the match, let's write a promo. That is, in my opinion, that is good, but it's not gonna go ahead and reopen stars. And I think that's what we got. Now the whole thing is can we keep it civilized? I don't know. I think this is a start of it probably building. Now, I could be wrong. It could be by design. It might start off slow with WWE and have them saying, hey, it's going to start off this way. But by week 3 in, we'll have it kind of go off the rails. And by the last 2 weeks of WrestleMania, sorry, before WrestleMania, we'll have it go absolutely to shits. And then there'll just be an all out chaos war. So it could be a version of slow storytelling, slow building through promos.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted it. I'm not saying I wanted it to be off the rails, Final Balls. I don't want to come across like that. I just wanted it. I feel a little like okay, we might have a great match here. Not saying I don't know. Will it be? I still believe Rhea's going to win. Um, but someone said in the comments. I think Z said here too. Um, where is he's coming? I think he said the same thing he said to you, same thing too. He said, well, he thinks that there are real heat between the two too. And I believe that because I think you were saying that, from what we were seeing from the tweets that would a lot of women don't like Jade. We don't know if that's true. We don't work with her. And it's maybe like people don't like her because of her attitude and the way she is. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know her personally. That could be the reason
Mm,
why. But I didn't want someone to go out of line. I didn't want to step out of line. That's what I don't want no one to think that. I just wanted something that made me feel like, oh man, I can't wait for this match. I'm still leaning towards Rhea right now, Final Balls, even
me
though
too.
Jay's supposed to be that powerhouse, but it's the
Me
way
too.
they've been booking her. Like you said, I think they've been waiting for Bianca. Maybe Jay gets it back later on down the line. Maybe she goes for a mid card title for a while, stays out of the top card
Well,
picture, and then maybe she come back later. I don't know.
well, here's the thing. And I'm gonna let you have this. I'm gonna go bathroom, so I'm gonna let you definitely get into more about what you think. But
Okay.
here's the thing:
Okay.
is that hey, like I like to go ahead and say, hey, we talk about how I am. big fan of 2010s of TNA, right? We're talking about being, going out of WWE. I'm also am a old school who AEW fan, which means the first 2 years, that's pretty much all I watched, right? And so when before Jay came over to WWE, that's this character she has now has always been a character. It's been a whole character since she had that whole first debut interaction with her and the Rhodes, for the Rose, Brandon Rose. So, and then she's also been on social media having the same character where, she's been cocky and she'll post pictures of herself wearing very muscle showing outfits. Like she'll wear, outfits that show all her physique. 'Cause, I mean, the girl has muscles on top of muscles. She has muscles from the behind to the front. It's all over. She's always kind of had this character where, hey, damn, I'm fine. Damn, I'm super strong. Damn, I'm perfection. Damn, I'm an eighth wonder of the world. That's always kind of been her character. And I always thought, hey, that's just part of her character. And she's been this same type of character forever. Now, granted, she did kind of have, when she was teaming up, you know, um, then the whole thing with, Naomi and Bianca, she kind of went babyface for a little bit. Um, we did see that until we had the, later on, implosion and everything. But she always kind of had that character. So, but we don't know how much of that's actually his character, how much of that is actually, you know, her person, which on paper is great because you kind of want to blur those lines about, hey, what's their character versus what's their actual personality. And a lot of stars, are good at blurring the lines. A good example of that would be people like to say John Cena, because there has been a lot of people who have said, hey, first you see John Cena being this real nice guy, being this, the nicest guy on the planet, all these make a wish things. That's his character, but the actual, John Cena is, you know, not a mean guy, but not really the nicest guy around, kind of cocky, kind of arrogant. Uh, that's not the John Cena that, that we really see. Now he loves the business and, respects the business and, really wants to help young talent, you know, out there. He loves WWE. That's always been a thing. But there has been a few that have said, hey, he's not super what his character portrays. Um, you know, we've seen that. We've seen also with Undertaker where, you know, we all would think he's his locker room leader, which he is, but we also know that Undertaker was the guy going around saying, men used to be men and carry knives in the backpack, and now we have, uh, at that time, the New Day playing video games, though, or a time he was mad when the Wyatt Six came back and they went to Whataburger and broke character. He was really mad about that. Of course, we got Kane, hey, I love Kane, and hey, but he has different political views that some are kind of strong in certain parts. And granted, he's doing great. He's doing things. Um, and so we kind of seen how, hey, this person is so good at their character where it doesn't reflect who they really are. But then you have the other side where their character is close to who they really are. Cody Rhodes, not dashing Cody Rhodes, not Stardust. And remember, the reason why Cody Rhodes left is because he said, "Hey, I want to be just Cody Rhodes. I want to drop all the other shit, and I just want to be Cody Rhodes." Now we're seeing Cody Rhodes, the character, which is just him, and he's kind of a mixed bag where, really great guy, nice guy, seems to really love the fans, seems to be, a nice guy to meet. We've seen him have meet and greets, everything. No one has said a bad word about him. Seems to be really, really a genuine great guy. But he's also has been the guy that will position himself to be at the top. That's part of his whole demeanor. We've seen that kind of cross the lines where, hey, um, we see him go on WWE and be, in main event matches, going for the title, telling The Rock, on camera, on, kayfabe, go F yourself. I'm not gonna turn heel, but we now know, thanks to The Rock, yeah, on camera, but also in real life, he did not want to turn heel for me, even though I gave him the damn match, at WrestleMania now. Um, hey, we also seen it when he was in AEW where,
It's gonna be okay.
no, we also seen it in AEW where he promised all these great things, which he did deliver on, but he also promised to be, and I don't like using this word because it's a WWE term, the land of opportunity, but that's really what he wanted AEW to be, and it was. But then towards the middle, we started to get Cody Rhodes always kind of wanted to have these really big matches and kind of wanted to have championship matches and kind of really stop push everybody else, make sure push themselves first. And we kind of got that and we saw that and fans turned on him in AEW. We kind of got a chance to really see that. So yeah, Cody Rhodes is a nice guy, but also kind of selfish guy. But we know that because it blurs the lines in between. Randy Orton. We also got to see Randy Orton. We know Randy Orton to be kind of this silly guy, also a heel, but also likes to joke around and also can be very outspoken. We heard the stories about what he did when he was younger. Famous story was when, new rider came into town, he would go ahead, put his hands down his pants, make him shake his hand. If you didn't do it, he'll go back and then he'll tell corporate on you. It's such a Blake, he'll tell Vince. He did that, of course, as he was young. Now here he is, older veteran, loves to joke around, is doing it on stage because we see, videos of him when the camera, goes to commercial, whatever, him having fun, him interacting with the crowd, putting on the Chelsea Green hat, him dancing in the ring, him laughing, having a great time. Clearly loves where he is, clearly loves the business. And it's showing Randy Orton the person that he is today. It's the same guy who we see making jokes and trolling, on X. We also got to see the Randy Orton be also, hey, I'm not gonna sit around and just, let you step all over, like a doormat. Because remember that famous interaction between him and the famous rapper or infamous rapper Soldier Boy. We've seen that. So there's two types of people. So with Jade, now that I said all that with Jade, again, is this her character or is this a mixture of who Jade the person really is and the character? So you gotta kind of keep that, in mind where, hey, we don't know, but we also gotta look at the character and look at, if that's really her. Um, and if it is really her, makes sense because it has came out what? It has came out that once she's done with WWE, she's plans to do other things. She's also have said that, she really doesn't have to wrestle. She's wrestling because she wants to. She doesn't need to do it financially. Those are things that she has openly said. So we kind of know that there is some arrogance there. Not saying it's a bad thing, but we know it, that arrogance does at least exist within Jade, the person, outside of Jade, the gimmick, the character. So again, so for that, we don't know. As far as for Rhea, mm, we don't really know. We've seen videos of her. She was out injured. Um, right on time when she was getting married to Buddy Murphy. We've seen her also in other outings. Appears to be super nice girl, the type of girl where you go up to her in the supermarket, shopping center. She's going to take a picture with you, say hi. Never heard anything bad about her. Looks very different without the makeup on. Um, so seems to be very, very sweet. Even though her character is kind of a baby face with EO, but also kind of like this mysterious, cocky, intense character, but kind of a baby face. But we also have seen, um, you know, um, recently with the whole Jade and and her thing. Other stars um like Nia Jax, like Chelsea Green, like Piper Nivens came to the aid of Rhea and saying, "Hey, Rhea is a locker room leader." In so many words. So we have heard that. So that ties into what we have seen from Rhea being out and about. But then on the other side of that fence, we do see that Rhea is kind of always in the main card picture. Rhea is kind of always in the WrestleManias. We know now this is her seventh title match at WrestleMania. So we kind of know that too. So it's kind of like, which one is the real Rhea once again? So it's all these different lines that kind of play a role into this. And I understand in Miami, you don't want it to kind of go left and have real feelings get hurt. You want to keep it just being, a work. But I think based on what we've seen and based on what was reported, WWE was really happy about all the buzz online between those two. I think we're gonna start to see a slow um, acceleration of those two being of those two having this ultimate feud. So I say for this one, and I don't like to use this line a lot, especially now because of where we are in WWE. But hey, you're gonna have to sit back and enjoy the ride WWE's taking you on, at least with those two. Um, just because just because I feel like we're gonna get somewhere with this rivalry, but I think they're slow building it because they want it to kind of intensify over time. Now I can't say too much about all the builds we have for WrestleMania, but I think well maybe the Roman and Punk, but I think in particular right now for this feud, I think we have to sit back and kind of really watch this play out now because we already know that damn Jade ain't have no more matches between now and damn WrestleMania. We know that she
Well,
ain't had none
she have
thus
one this
far.
Friday. She have one this
Well,
Friday.
she ain't gonna have no more. That's probably the last one.
Oh, okay.
I
I don't know that.
I I highly doubt that because especially now because we heard that report, which is true because we saw pictures of Chelsea Green and her. I'm talking about Jordan Grace here. Um, yeah, Jordan Grace was injured, so we're like, oh man, we get injured so close to WrestleMania. There's a chance that they might kind of save her just to make sure nothing goes, AWOL before WrestleMania. Kind of put a little fear into that, especially now that we know there is no Plan B. Because think about it, if one of them is out with injury, like who is a Plan B right now? Can't really think of one right now. You'll have to kind of go out, out of the limb and kind of, maybe go get towards like a Charlotte or somebody,
Yeah.
which I don't
Yep.
think is gonna, yeah, which I don't think is really gonna be the main direction that they want to go, at least right now. I believe we're gonna probably have a Jade and Charlotte match. Probably won't be for a title though, which kind of sucks. Um, but but yeah, I wouldn't blame them to keep her off TV. Just kind of save that keep her healthy because WrestleMania is pretty close around.
Yeah. Um. Well, I'll let you go use the restroom real quick. Let me run down a couple of comments here we got from some of our people. Um, Z said here. He said he thought that it was an angle from these two, like like we all thought. Until the ladies started chattering it up. I thought so too, because like I was saying in the beginning, and that's how we was looking at it. I'm not saying. I guess we're saying as fans, we didn't want it to go left. We didn't want it to go left, but we wanted to kind of see some kind of like draw us into this match, type of thing. And I guess that's what Z is saying. The same thing I was saying, between Jade and Rhea, um, too. So he said, and yesterday it felt like it was managed and forced. And I said the same thing too. I think I told you this either this morning or once the promo was over. I think I either text you and I was like, man, it doesn't feel right. It feels strange. It felt kind of awkward.
Mm,
It felt like it was like someone told him like, hey man, we we know y'all got heat, but we don't want the same issue what happened with Charlotte because we don't want people to feel like, oh man, do they got control over there or what's going on? I and all that, but we kind of still
Yeah.
wanted to see what was the injury. What was the we want to kind of see some kind of spark, some kind of fire between these two. I think that's what us as fans wanted.
Hmm. Yeah. What's next on the list before I go away for the next few minutes? I definitely want to talk about Danhausen. I definitely want to
We
talk
got
about, of
next on
course,
the
and of course, our main topic today, for those who don't know, of course, is interaction that we got between Punk and Roman about Rock coming back. What else do we have on the list, Miami?
Actually, we only got a few things. I could the dominant loss and the AJ Lee open challenge because actually the dominant
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I mean the Dan Housley and the CM Punk thing is the last couple things because we only got those few things left.
yeah.
So I guess why you
You can go
what's the
through
better part?
The Dominic and Penta.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Um, as everyone seen on this Monday Night Raw, before the match had even started, Dominic was defending his title, the IC title against Penta. As he was on his way to the ring backstage, he ran into Dan Hazu, who we seen
You are
made his
cursed. You are
yep,
cursed.
got
So go ahead.
cursed. So I'm guessing Funnaballs that if you're cursed, and I was saying to you when it happened Monday, well, and I was like, well, they could go a lot of ways with this. Where if Danhausen curse you, I don't think you lose. You might have like a sprain of bad luck. Things might fall on you. You might have a little bad luck here and there. They might go a lot of different ways, which I do like because the creativity
No,
can go
no,
unlimited.
now,
You don't
no,
think
no,
so?
no, no, no. Now the thing is not bad. Look, now Danhausen person, you just gonna lose. I mean,
Well,
we
I
saw
was
that.
thinking that. I
We
was
we
thinking that,
we saw
but I
that.
was
We
like,
saw
well,
that.
what's
Well,
the
they
thing
hinted
about
to
doing
that.
this?
They hinted with that because remember what he told the Miz. He was like, "Hey, if you don't, yes, you are gonna mentor me because if you're not gonna mentor me, well, hey, you remember you, hey, you saw what happened to Dominic, huh?"
Yeah,
And that's when he
yeah.
got scared. And for those who don't know, but before I go ahead and go like real, yes, the play by play for that was I really liked it. And we're going back to SmackDown just for a second because it has to do with Danhausen. You had Danhausen give his list of demands to Nick Aldis. He wanted a mentor as part of one of his demands, and he said, "I
Yeah.
don't really have anybody." He said, "Wait a minute, hold on one second." We had the Miz kind of in the far off talking on the phone. He goes up to him and said, "Hey, I know you want to be a mentor, because of course him and Elbow Family didn't work out. I know you want to be a mentor. Hey, I got somebody. I got a new guy. He's the new WWE. Here, all smiles, and then it's Danhausen, and he's like, no. And then we got that whole interaction. Um, but that whole line of saying, "Hey, you so happen to Penta," makes me think. I mean, sorry, what so happen to Dominic. It makes me think that it's not just a string of "Hey, bad things happen to you." It's more so of "Hey, you're gonna lose." Now, granted, if they're smart, they can twist it to be that way. And it is reported that the whole idea of now Dominic, that his new direction is gonna be he's going to be cursed and he's going to be kind of chasing around Danhausen and begging for him to take the curse off of him. He's going to be on this complete losing streak. He loses everything and loses all the matches, and he's just begging Danhausen to uncurse him. Apparently, it's going to be the direction for Dominic at this time.
Well, I think so too, and I know before you go, this gave me the Kane and Daniel Bryan vibe when he put him with the Miz, and I because we didn't never know we will see a team like that. You usually get those two teams, Frankenstein teams. I guess that's what you call it. I might be saying it wrong. Where you get two guys that you'll never think will team up, and I think that's what we're probably going to get with Miz and Dan Housley.
Well, yeah, Frankenstein. Because there was a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
time WWE period where they were doing that, but we got
yeah,
we got a lot of good things out of it. And one of those good
yeah.
things
And
out of it was
I
what?
think
Was what? The bar and
the
what? And
bar,
rated RKO. And rated RKO was
yes,
Edge and Randy Orton.
and not just
So
that, Daniel Bryan and like I said, Kane. You know, I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like that's
yep,
good.
yep.
I
Team
think
hell
I think
no.
yeah, I think this could be something that they haven't seen yet. It could be lighting in the bottle, final balls, because the tag team division does need something. Because right now, it's like it's very lackluster. It's not where it needs to be. We need to see where it's going to go. But I think with this team up, we'll have to see what's going to go on with Miz and Danhausen. Um, I would like to see it. I already like the dynamic already. It came off to me as one of the things. I know Miz is always getting praise for being in the ring and making a lot of people look good, which is true. He's been around for quite some time, so we'll have to see where this will go with these two guys. I think a very odd team. But like I say, back to Dominik. Dominik loses the IC title from Penta this Monday because he was cursed. I guess that's one thing. But you've seen JD go for the IC title and he was about to hit Penta with it, but Finn stopped him. And I guess they're still trying to push this angle where the guys, because that's the only time we've been seeing it, with the guys seeming like they're not all on the same page. I don't know if they're going to go with Finn and Dom just having a match by themselves without no title, which I was thinking that was not going to be the case. Or they're going to probably do Penta, Dominik, and Finn, maybe even JD. I wouldn't even be surprised at Mania or maybe even at Raw. Who knows? Um, Going for this IC title again. Another title I feel like they could be going hot potato with. But I was a little surprised because like I said, I thought they was gonna do Finn and Dom. Dom losing the title this early now has me saying what will they do with him at WrestleMania. I do agree with Ball saying that this whole curse thing he could be doing this thing where he's trying to either find Dan Housley or running into him and asking him and begging him to uplift the curse. I hope this doesn't lead to him losing Liv because they, like I said, I think I was saying this to Balls. I think this could lead to a string of bad luck. That's the way I would book it. I would like to hear everyone's thoughts, especially if you want to go back on YouTube and give us your thoughts. Please, like I say, please subscribe to us on YouTube. We got a lot of videos on YouTube, early talking up podcast episodes, which will be back. We're going to probably turn them into later interviews down here down the line. But now some DWE radio episodes are on here. And if you are wondering where the missing episodes are at, guess what? They're on Spotify. That's DWE Radio. The radio's not on the radio. If you follow me on X, the link is in my bio for the YouTube and the Spotify. So it's easy to get to. And please give us a follow on Twitch. That's DWE Radio, the radio that's not on the radio. But guess what? We're on Spotify, we're on Twitch, and we're on X Live. Please give us another follow on our other page that's Talking Up Podcast on X. And give us a follow on that. But yes, that's where the rest of our episodes are at. So that's where I think they're going to go with Dominik. Dominik losing the title this early. I don't think this will be the title that they do because usually they do it with the ladder match. I'm not going to lie to you guys. They could go with the women a ladder match maybe for once. It feels like this IC title could be that. I thought they was going to maybe put Becky back in the mix with AJ Lee. They still could, which may make it a multi women match. I know they were saying Final Boss said earlier they want to do a six match card, a six match for each card. They made 3 on one card, 3 on the other card, which I mean this could be one of them with the IC title because like I said, I found it quite strange that AJ Lee did this open challenge, which I'm about to get ready to get to here next. But yeah, I don't know what's next for Dominik. We'll have to see this coming Monday. I haven't heard what the Judgment Day could be doing. We'll have to see. Seems like Liv is more focused on winning a title. So Just hope that this curse is just and match wise, but nothing else other than that. We'll see. But speaking of the open challenge, I think we did talk about this, but I'll brush over real quick. AJ Lee did put out that open challenge to some women. I don't know who all would who she would face, but I do know who all is in the match. Hold on here. I got the list of people who are in the match. You got Bailey, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Ivy Nile, and you have um um Liv Akira. So and I think this will maybe be, that's why I said maybe there probably something weird may maybe happen here where this can come into a multi-women match where all of these ladies could be in, maybe a ladder match. Most of the time is, I don't think they have done it with the women because these titles, we can't forget that the IC title's still kind of new. United States title still new, like Final Boss was saying earlier. The tag team titles are not new, but they have been around for some time, but not too long. But this could be that match. Um, as I said, the list of people that on here, I would love to see Bailey and AJ Lee. This will be actually a gauntlet match. From what I'm reading here, on the web page. Um, EO Sky. I think that will be a pretty neat match. Raquel, I would not be surprised. She may could be the favorite because by them not putting her back in the main card picture, they might do something where they give her a title and give Liv a title, and they might leave the boys. Because the boys are trying to figure their stuff out, especially now Dom has dropped the title and he can't win a match, so they definitely might just put the girls together and just leave the boys behind. And I don't know how long Roxanne will be coming back. But those are matches that I would like to see from off the list that I'm reading now. Here. I'm trying to see who else on this list. I think Asuka too. I think that was one person that AJ Lee did say she wanted to face one on one as she hold this title. So I wouldn't mind to see Asuka too. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they go a multi women match here. Gauntlets can be pretty good. I know they did one for the tag team last night. It didn't feel like it used to be. I love the one when New Day was in. I don't know if anyone remembers that when the Usos came out and forfeit and the crowd went wild because they gave New Day like the win and they went on to win the tag team titles. But we know the battles that New Day and the Usos used to have. And we now know that I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Xavier is hurt. Xavier's hurt, and Kofi and they still got Grayson together right now. They've been just like doing off camera stuff lately. So, but yeah, those gauntlets can be. It can be good. It can be bad. I would not be surprised if Bailey's one of the favorites too. We could see Bailey and Valkyrie and one of the matches as we go along this gauntlet. Her and Io Sky, her and Raquel, those pretty good, decent star calendar matches. I still like Bailey. I still like to see her be pushed. Well, um, like I say, I think the booking needs to be a little better when it comes to the women. We do need women's wrestling when we talk about the women's of WWE, but that's definitely something I want to see as we talk about the AJ Lee Open Challenge. Like I say, it did come off kind of weird for me, but we'll see. Here, other than that, uh, we talked about the Dan. I talked about the Dan Housey thing. I'll try to see what else I skip before I talk about the last thing because I want Final Boss to give y'all her thoughts about CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Other than that, let me see. Let me go back through some comments real quick. We'll go through some comments here. I think I didn't read everything while Final Boss was gone. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go here because I think this is where I left off from where Z was at, and I think I was right on that. CJ said the Bells did quote tweet on Nia Jax. They will be in the multi women tag match. Yeah, Final Boss said that earlier too. I did not know that. Z said, I think the best character are rooted in a personal, the person being really personal. Yeah, I think so too, Z. Like, like I said, I didn't want to get too personal, but just give me that almost edge feeling, like that edgy feeling where we're getting like, oh man, you're getting us caught up. If you know what I mean. Like that. He said the politician, aka Cody Rhodes. Yeah, a lot of people not liking that Cody Rhodes win. Final Boss was me and her was talking earlier where she was like, man, where's the Cody Rhodes fan? They're not protecting the guy. And I said, man, I remember the time when Cody was back in AEW and he threw his weight belt into the crowd and they throwed it back to him. And I was like, man, no one came to his defense. And I was like, it's weird because back then he was still a babyface. And the rest is history. Came back to the WWE. But yeah, I mean, I kind of knew it was going to happen because the reports did come out. You had the Sean Ross Saps, you had the Fight Selects, you had the Wrestle Talk say that Cody was going to win. And at first, like I said, when I said this to Greg when we was talking one day, we was texting, I said, man, it feels weird that they actually let something leak and they're going to go ahead and go with it. I was like, maybe they're doing this on purpose and they might be going to go a different direction, but that wasn't the case. So who knows? He said also, you said Betty is locked to leave for AEW. Yeah, that's written on the wall. I do agree with you on that, Z. But other than that, yeah, those are the last couple things. Like I said, we'll let Final Boss. You want to talk about some more Danhausen before we get to our last topic? Because that's all that we have left. The Danhausen stuff and the last topic about Punk and Roman.
Oh, did you go over the AJ Lee stuff though?
I did. Yes, I did. That's what we were just talking about. So you can't
Oh, I missed it.
Hey.
I missed
it. Well,
Did I miss it?
Okay. So I don't know if you know who's all in it.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I missed AJ Lee stuff. So you're telling me you could have talked about the great Danhausen for 20 minutes? Really?
You tell me you didn't say that. Tell me you didn't say that.
Yes, Booker T. I just said that.
Tell me you didn't say that.
Hey.
But
come on, for those who follow me on X, I changed my name to Unsafe Blinghausen. That's how great he is. Get over. Come on.
You asked me, you was like, who's doing this? And I was like, and shouts out to Collective. I was like, Collective. I was like, they've been doing it. And shouts out to people who have been doing it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know Lou is doing it. I know Carissa and I chat is doing it. A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting himself over. You know, I was a really big fan of him on Raw with the list saying that he was to be in Hall of Fame like this year. It's crazy. He won the Blair. He wanted to do the. Yep. He wanted to. He wanted to have the famous point and shoot picture with Triple H, which he did grant for him. He did get that wish of demands. And he's getting himself over. WWE is very happy with him. It's reported that they're very happy with his merch sales of his shirt. So we had him do bits of that on SmackDown, about him in the shirt. He's been promoting that also on social media as well, with him, trying to get people to buy the shirt. Again, now more over. So he is getting so over. Now, how long it'll last? Probably not too long. But at least right now, hey, we live in the moment. We take it day by day. On the way to WrestleMania. So right now he's doing a good job of getting himself over. WWE is doing a good job of letting that kind of play on and facilitate. How much is that is him? How much is that is WWE putting the minds together? That part we don't really know. But right now I think they're in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying that I don't know if you know who all is in the gauntlet with AJ Lee, because they're going to actually do a gauntlet for her title. Ashley is going to be Bailey. You got Io Sky. You got Raquel Rodriguez. You got Asuka. You got Ivy Nile, and you got La Raquera. So those are
the ladies. Okay, yeah, I didn't know it was a list, so thank you so much for that. Yeah, I really like this promo by AJ. I don't know if people are down on it, but I think since he's been back, this is really my favorite promo that he's had thus far, Ollie. She said she could still go. I like that. I like the feeling of it, but the only thing is that she had this weird, awkward pause. She was like, if anyone wants to go ahead and step to me, and no one came out, so I'm like, oh. Alrighty then. Well, next time you see me, it'll be me fighting for this championship. I'll be a fighting champion, whatever that's gonna be. WrestleMania. That's pretty much what we got from it. But for me, for her character, I thought this was probably one of her better promos. Well, is it gonna knock down doors? No, a lot of people are bad on it, but I thought this one for me was actually pretty great. It was just from AJ Lee style promo. Now the question is she going to retain that championship? That I don't know. But I would say that the goal for her would really be for her to kind of go through all the women's championships. That way, when she does leave, and I'm sure for this time it'll be probably for good. She'll be on her retirement round, even though she's not that old. She's still in her 30s. But she'll have a chance to actually win all the titles that she talked about didn't exist when she was a Divas era. So she'll have a chance to, right now she's IC. She can go for the United States. She can go for, both women's championships. So she has a lot to go through as hell. If they really want to, if she wants to be, just say, hey, I'll be a Grand Slam champion, and go ahead and, go for the tag team. We got to find a partner, though. Maybe Paige she ever comes back. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say on the AJ Lee stuff.
Yeah, man. Paige ain't coming back. I will give that up.
They kept teasing it like forever, though. That's the thing. They teased it and then didn't go anywhere with it. God, I hate it.
Well,
But yeah,
maybe they probably too afraid. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you remember, she did get injured last time, so there's that too. So I don't know how her injury is since she left. Yes, she was used in AEW. She has been doing some stuff maybe on the indie stuff. But I would like to see her. I would like to see her face some new people finding balls. You got ladies that we can do AJ and her. Her and Roxanne, like I said, and also we got Aries. He said the same thing. I said he would like to see maybe her and I guess he was saying Io. I don't know. He's saying he was going with her. I would like to see AJ Lee and Io Sky, especially now that her and Rhea Ripley are not together anymore. You said you didn't. I don't know if you didn't like the way how they split apart, which I didn't mind it because it was not going to.
I didn't like it. I would have really wanted to see like a turn. Now I know it has been said that Rhea and Io, they have a really
strong bond outside of WWE. Of course, we saw which that's went viral now. Rhea Ripley wearing a haircut that's a Theo Sky on there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, as
Yeah, I
tribute to
see.
her. They're very close friends. But hey, this is kayfabe now. Will I just see the turn? I just say, hey, I'm going over to SmackDown. It was nice being with you. But hey, we lost the tag team championships. I'm Rhea freaking Ripley, how Jade said, and I got a hard title on me. So, nice. Thank you for everything, but I'm gonna go ahead and win the title now.
Oh Lord. No,
So I mean, so it'll be
this
nice
might
to
be.
ask to have a way to actually do something. I would think it would be nice if they had a way to actually split them apart.
Mm-hmm.
And actually make it. Now it could have been, of course, a turn, or of course you could have had, maybe an injury angle for a short period of time. Which I understand why they didn't do it because it's too close to Mania. We need we need Rhea to be, on screen. But I would like them to find a different way to get there. And just saying, hey, it's not working with you, but I'm gonna go on to bigger better things. Lost, so it's no point in me just having you around. Bye. I thought, they could do a lot better with that storytelling. Hey, I'm going to SmackDown. Love you. Bye. Good luck doing whatever. Well, what was the title you were going to get now? Bye. Back to this big card to go. Even though you're Scott, you're great in the ring. But hey, maybe you could join Oscar back again. I don't know. Just go ahead and beg.
Oh Lord.
Just go ahead and do the Miami
Well,
timeline. Please let me in the chat. Please. Go ahead and beg. So.
How you don't know? And I thought we was wrestling fans. I thought we loved long storytelling, long booking, long story.
That is dead. It went 2026.
That's dead.
TKO, they're doing that. Yeah, they're not doing long term stories
How's
anymore.
it dead? Look, and this is
What
gonna be great. This is a
what
great
long term
segue.
story? What long term story have we really had? Like anytime we see long term
Well,
stories,
this is gonna be
they're
a
paused
great
forever or
segue
they're
to our
just
next
dropping.
topic. This is a great segue to our next topic because now we're going to enter into the main event. I guess what everyone came here for. And
Wait,
did Punk
wait,
go too far
wait,
with the promo that he
wait,
did on Punk?
wait.
I mean Roman.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. So here's the thing. So before we deep dive into that, now remember when we had that whole thing where it was Punk
Mm-hmm.
and Cody and Roman in the ring, and Roman, didn't make it clear about which one he wanted to challenge. Then we got the
Yeah.
promo for of course after everything, where Roman told him, hey, I'll just pick you because you happen to be the title picture. It doesn't do with you. But now look, here we are as of yesterday, as of Friday, where the same guy so you couldn't choose against, or you didn't tell us against, is now champion. So we now got Cody. So Roman now you can choose Cody now if you really wanted to. Just say it.
Oh Lord.
So now we're back in plan B. So it's weird now.
And this is perfect because there's already been something said by Punk that can't be took back. I gotta see about you, man. I gotta see about you. Let it be real. Come on. I mean, and that, like I said, I know. Hey, kudos to Roman. I mean, it had to be clear to him. Let's give him his flowers on that. And I know why he did it too, because he was always taught by his father to always further the business, make the business become better than what it is. And I mean, there's so much history with Roman and where he was at Monday, and I think that was in Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at
Close, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Okay. I thought it was in Indiana. Okay, my bad.
Well, close though, close. I got the same fuel, the same what they call it? They still got the school, the same syllables and shit. But close.
Yeah. Well, a little bit. Yeah.
Indianapolis. Close enough.
Hey, they right by each other. Shoot, when I be traveling there, I be
Anything?
getting confused.
Hey. If anybody knows about roads and where to go, that's Miami, man. I don't know about y'all. Where? Where's the next two?
Oh Lord. Well, actually, I don't know if you know this, and this is a little history about Indianapolis Final Balls. And let's start. The Shield actually debuted in 2020, where it was Roman Reigns, and also now he was known as Dean Ambrose. He's known now
Wait,
as John Moxley.
hold on, wait a minute now. 2020, that's not true. It did not debut in
2012. I
2020.
said 2012.
12,
2012.
12. You said 20. I heard 20. Okay.
Oh, my bad,
Like,
my bad.
whoa,
I
man.
meant 12, 12, my bad. That was slipping on 12, 12, my bad. 2012, my bad. I was looking at another under there. My bad.
Okay.
2012.
Now, granted, we did get that last run with them right around that time, I believe. I could be a couple over a couple years. We got that last Shield reunion closer to like to the 2020s. So
Well,
there's that.
you're almost close. Guess what? What happens in
With
what happened in
19?
Indiana? Guess what happened? The
Oh,
Shield
when they when they
they
reunited.
reunited in 2017
Oh,
in
the
the same
17?
city. It was
Shit, it's been that long.
2017. So you
Well,
you
you know what?
actually
You know what? That makes sense though. You see, I didn't think about that. See, here we go. We got to play style sense with the brain. Because remember why the still broke up? Because rumors going around that Dean Ambrose was going to leave. And remember, we got rumors say that weird line, say, hey, don't worry about Dean. But then next thing we know, hey, they were saying their goodbyes. And we got that
yeah.
really nice vignette with then Dean Ambrose. Now, no, John Moxley,
Yeah,
of course,
John Moxley.
was over there running to like police sirens and dogs and shit. And then of course he debuted on AEW, and that was when. So yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And also,
And also it does make sense because you know what? It was right during that time when we were saying about Dean Ambrose was when. So I want to go ahead and put this out there because there are people out there like to go ahead and say, hey, we might just sit around and we don't want to see shows and we just sit behind the computer all day and blah blah blah. But I want to, you can't get a dollar out of me. Yes, it was right around this time where I got, when Dean was leaving, I got to see Dean and of course Renee Paquette. It was right around that time when they were like in their last, on our last time before he made that jump over. So, yep,
yeah.
there's that.
Actually, in Indianapolis Final Boss, 2026, Roman Reigns actually won the Royal Rumble, and it was in the my favorite stadium because it's one.
Wait, hold on. What year was that? You said 26? What year was you? Oh my! No, that's this year.
Yeah,
This year you talking about you won? Or you talking about something before that? Okay.
yeah, this
I thought you talking about when Roman won the other time when the Rock came back.
No, I'm reading off of Google. It said 2026.
Oh, well, yes, that was back in damn January. Well, yeah, we know that.
Well, no, that was last year.
This year, you said 26 this year. Wait, we go ahead and move on now, Miami. God damn.
Look, I don't know what year. I don't be looking at the years no more.
I know you got it written down, Miami. My God.
Look, you know what I be looking at? What road I'm going to? What?
Yes, Roman did win it about 2 months ago, Miami. We know. When it was WrestleMania, we know. I thought talking about when he won it and he got booed and then the Rock came out.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Well, they ain't happening in Indianapolis, so I guess that was in Indiana.
It was.
Yeah,
I don't know where it was.
Yeah, I think that was in I think that was the Chicago one, if I'm not mistaken. No, that was in Philly. My bad. That was in Philly. See, and this is why she used Google. It was in Philly because remember he said Philly is always good. Matter of fact, he cut the promo saying that Philly is never kind to him because yes, him and The Rock. It seems like Philly does not like Rock or Roman because they both was booing both of them. Rock came out there and just held his hand up and just did his hand to him and they booed him. But this is when they were trying to get Roman over as a face. So this is when they was doing all the contacts and stuff, all that stuff.
It's the Big Dog era. Yes, we know.
Yeah. So and then now we get this confrontation on March the 2nd, which was in 2026, with the whole promo of him and Punk, where you got the line where he said that, I'm gonna bury you next to your father. And I do agree with shouts out to Busted Open, Uncle Bubby, Uncle Bubba.
Hold
Said,
on now, because I thought we were going through the history. That was a real short history.
well, that's
But
that's the only thing that happened
that's it. That's it.
yeah,
Oh,
that's the
okay.
only thing
But
that happened. Yeah.
oh God, man, I thought we were going to the whole. Oh, okay. He
No,
gonna
no,
kill
not
some
the
knowledge.
whole. Well, we
Um,
would went to the whole history of Roman Reigns. We would sit here forever. We would have been on for another 3 hours. Shit.
but no, as far as for the promo, before we got that because I was in the line. We got some other pieces to that. We got shit. It's been so long now because it's been since speaking Monday. Um,
Talking about when they cut they did the video of him
uh,
saying he about to do the pipe bomb.
no.
Not that.
Yeah. They did show remnants of that, which they did show. Oh,
Or
you did have a woman go ahead and say, I think my favorite part of the whole promo was when, hey, after you lose your title at WrestleMania, we're gonna put you on the John Cena retirement tour, and then we're gonna milk you, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna send you down to NXT. That way you can go ahead and train some guys. I'm like, they'll come to me Rawson, and I'm gonna beat them. And that was very true because one of the things that Dan Santos always wanted to do is that he did want to go ahead. He wanted to be over NXT. That was one of the things that CM Punk really wanted to do.
yeah, he want to have Shawn Michaels with UC. Yep.
Yeah. He wanted to. He wanted to take it from Shawn Michaels. To be honest, that's clear. Hopefully, Shawn Michaels either does other things, or he steps down, or he won't take over NXT. So yeah, so there's a touch of realism in there, and as we all kind of know, like, hey, CM Punk is on like his last real run, depending on how long he's really going to stay. So we know that. Of course, we know we're going to have, a pretty nice run with him because he's on like the last year or so, depending on when his contract is. I don't know exactly. Is Romo took the line about how you aren't here to be championship. You are here to sell shirts to a whole bunch of 4-year-old birds, still living at home. These are all lines that Roman said that I thought were very impactful. And of course, we also got, because man had to go ahead and he went to the worst line, but of course we got from Punk. Where's your family? Do you have any? Where's your family? Is the goblins in your pocket? He talked about how the Usos is not there. He talked about how he's by himself. Now he doesn't have the bloodline anymore. He talked about that. And
Well,
of course,
that was another line too. I'm gonna see if you're gonna touch on it because it was another.
I may not because I had to pull it from my ass because you went right to the last line. So go ahead.
I mean, that's what everybody was talking about. Nobody else was talking about those other lines. That was like
You have the ability to get that. That was the last line. To that you walked off, but go ahead.
Well, there was a line too where Punk was like, the billing, like I said, where they debuted because he did bring it up where the Shield came and he was like, I picked you. No, I didn't even pick you. I picked, Dean, Seth, and someone else, which we did review on one of our episodes of DW Radio. And he was like, "Who's we?" Roman was like, "We." I didn't. You didn't pick me. Somebody else picked me, which that was true. That was a true.
Well, it's right, and that kind of goes into that what I was saying at the beginning of about the pick. That was the mentor because absolutely right. Roman was not going to be the other person. It was going to be Chris Bates. No way, Jose. And then, but CM Punk didn't have no real pushback. He was like, sure, why not? He didn't have any pushback on it. It just wasn't who was on his original list. Now, there's a lot of reports that, it has been said that, hey, Punk really has been going around and saying, hey, he was responsible, for the Shield and all this stuff. Where some of that is true, some of that's not true yet. He wanted to have what? He wanted to have a heel group because, of course, Vince wanted him to turn heel. He wanted to have a heel group come up to him, come up with him. Sorry, to the main roster. But the idea that that was pitched as far as who was in there really didn't come from Punk. It actually came from like Kane and other people, WWE. But Punk had to go ahead and kind of rewrite history and say, hey, shit was my idea. But no, his idea is I want to heal faction. That's what that was saying. But for the term of storytelling, and because it's feel, and that was something also that damn Roman did use to call him by his name Phil. With you got the history that hey that the Shield was all his idea and he picked who go on there and he didn't pick Roman. That's a story that we're telling right now. And those were all really, really good lines. I liked when Roman looked really mad when he asked him, "Where's your family?" We got the classic intense stare from Roman. And of course, we got what Mike wants to go ahead and skip to because there's a reason why I decided to bring up all these lines because all these lines are going to play into my whole theory about where this thumbnail comes from.
Oh, Lord.
But the family.
Here we go.
But of course, we'll get there. But of course, we got Punk say, hey, I'm going to bury you next to your father, which we all know. Unfortunately, Roman did lose his dad and his uncle the same year. But Roman didn't have that intense face like he had during that line of, where's your family? He had like that look like, look at this guy. Like he had like this goofy look on his face. And so I'm like, he kind of really killed it by him saying that, by him having that look. He didn't have that look of anger or all this stuff. He didn't have that. He didn't have the right expression on that one for some reason. He kind of feels like, it kind of threw a bit, at least for me. I don't see anybody talking about that besides myself, so maybe it's bothering me. Maybe I'm just the oddball out. But yeah, so we got that line. And at first I was like, man, it's a low blow. Of course it was 100% probably approved. Like we all know that, Roman has a lot of political stance backstage. Like we all know that apparently the biggest political figures back there is of course Roman and Rhea is what reported. But so of course it probably was approved. But I just thought it was cheap, writing, like, hey, what can be the off at the shock value? Of course, bring up the dead family member that used to be a wrestler. People, we've seen it done time and time again, especially, when Cody was doing it with his dad. He was dragging that on forever. Thank God he was on from that. But then I started thinking, I was like, that wasn't the only line he said. He also talked about where's, his family and where's there. And there has been a lot of other people, and in particular, Wrestle Talk that had said no. He was talking about Day, WWE, but it's played off. We talking about Day as in the bloodline. But I took it as he said this line about where's your family. Okay, cool. But then we also got that line about bury you next to your father. It was a weird line to place because Punk is a baby face. He's an intense baby face. He is. He's a baby face. He's a baby face. Punk has always been a baby face. He's a baby face since he came back. He's a very intense baby face. He's not a tweener. He's more of like a John Cena, a very intense baby face. That's his position. So it's just a weird line for him to say. It felt out of place unless it's going somewhere. Now everyone is saying to talk about, the dead dog, which Dogs are part of the family. We all love them. Like, I lost a dog last year.
Oh, Lord.
But comparing a dog to comparing an actual, person that, has died, and not to mention this person is the first kin, because we're not talking about a great, 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 a godfather. I mean, so we're talking about his actual dad, like his closest relative. His closest relative to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, your
Mm-hmm.
dad, your mom, your dad, your siblings, and then your grandparents. Those are the closest ones to you, and then it kind of goes down from there. Bloodline, not
Mm-hmm.
bloodline WWE, but your actual, like, your genetics. So that actually has
Mm-hmm.
lost his dad, and of course lost his uncle, which is on the other side of the family, which is his dad's brother, and they were also
Mm-hmm.
twins.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about how we could put that to, well, we're gonna compare the death of Tampa's dog Larry to the death of his father, which is apples and oranges, at least for me. So I'm like, well, why would they put this in there? It just felt out of place. Like they're going somewhere. And remember what we got 2 years ago? We got Cody Rhodes talking stuff about Roman's family. We got that very, very famous line during the press conference for WrestleMania where you had Rock said, when you talk about my ancestors, talk about his ancestors, talk about my ancestors, talk about his blood, talk about my blood, talk about his family, that's my family. And we got the very famous slap. And part of the whole reason why Rock was really pissed off was because you had Cody taking shots at the family. We also got one of Miami's favorite pieces when, we got Roman and Rock walking backstage to go past Triple H, and they told him,
Oh,
hey, he
now
told him,
that's
hey,
favorite piece. Oh,
yeah, no, you like that piece. I like the other, no, that is a favorite piece. I like the piece
oh, you talking about? Oh, you said
SmackDown.
when they said you fix it or we fix it. You talking about that part?
Correct, correct,
Oh, I
correct.
love. Oh, yeah, yeah. I love
Correct.
that
Yeah,
part.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
my
You're
favorite
your
part.
favorite place now. Come on, put your
Oh, yeah,
thinking
that's my
cap
favorite
on.
part.
But yeah. So, but the whole simulation is like, yeah, we did, want to swerve with the whole, cause the story thing. But the whole story about that is because Cody was talking to, disrespect the family, calling the Rock and Roman. So it's funny how we got that 2 years ago. We have Punk asking where's his family, then going to deliver that left out of line or bringing up his passed away father. And we also know what that Rock is, of course, the cousin of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' cousin. And then we also got to remember during that pipe bomb, what did we find out from Dan Punk? We got Punk saying that line pissed me off so bad, calling him a kiss ass Dwayne. We also got, Punk has also called Rock a ball fraud. We have all this stuff. So we got history between The Rock and Punk. We got history between Punk and Roman because of the Coca Banner. And now he's bringing up his family, which is the same reason why we got that whole match with Rock being the partner of Roman because of Cody and how he felt about the family tree and then expecting all the things with the bloodline. It's two hand in hand. Now they didn't have those lines in there, but okay, it's just Punk and Roman. But the fact that we got all these pieces now, they're showing clips of pipe bomb. The famous pipe bomb that had, of course, the line I just said. You talk about family. It just all kind of makes sense to lead into The Rock. Now, granted, we're going to get a Rock match? No. We're going to get a Rock appearance? I highly think so. I think it kind of leads to eventually we'll have, and we're all hoping for, next year WrestleMania to have Rock and Roman, but this is how we get there, right? Because some said, hey, where's your family? Rock shows up. Family's right here. Talk about my ancestors. The Rock is right here. So, because, the Wild Samoans. So, to me, it sets the place to have The Rock return, which eventually will lead to us building the Rock and Roman feud for next year. Because if you're not going to do that, then why the fuck would you say it? Why would you say it? It makes no sense.
I'm gonna let you know. You know why?
Why?
To sell tickets because now y'all want to see Roman kill CM Punk.
No.
Like, cause that one line.
No one is saying we want to see Roman kill or beat down Punk. All people are saying right now is Roman. All people are saying right now they want Roman to bring up damn CM Punk's dead dog.
Well,
that's what we're saying.
They should not even say that because see, this how you know people ain't from the streets. Because at the end of the day, I ain't finna bring up your dog. I gotta see about you. No, it should be on site. Forget it. After this, there's no more promos. It's on because you gotta think about it. Okay, we're gonna have maybe. I think Roman won't show up until 2 more weeks, if I'm not mistaken. But it's
no. I thought he was coming for the full month of March.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was gonna be another 2 weeks. I could be wrong.
I thought he was coming for the full month of March. I could be wrong too, but I thought he was coming for the full month of March.
Hold on. Z said, "Hey, yeah, I love how your mind works, final balls." Well, I do too, but see, this is the thing about it.
It makes no sense to bring it up. It makes no sense to bring it up.
You're doing something that I used to do, and I like that. But now I have to be.
Well, here's the thing. Well, I know because they love teasing things, and then they don't catch out. Of course, I also forgot they also mentioned the list on there, so that Chris Jericho. I guess I don't know why that's in there.
Yeah, that was a,
yes. But my whole thing is, hey, before you said that line, we just thought about the history of Punk and Roman, the Colt Cabana stuff. No one thought about the damn Rock. We thought we was all focused on it. We were happy with the match. We were happy, with the idea of the match. We were happy with their first promo. We were very happy with that. This wasn't needed. So why bring it up? Now we were scrambling and it wasn't good. Then I get it. But why bring it up? Why?
Well, I think my first question is, and because not Roman, but Punk said this too in the promo too, where he was like, he was really kind of telling Roman, "Do you need someone to beat me? You can't do it on your own." And the way y'all were saying it was, we need to. Okay, are we saying that the Rock is going to just help him, or the Rock is just coming to slap the out of Punk for saying something?
Once again, that's how we get to the Rock and Roman, because yes, he is going to help him. Probably slap around damn Punk a couple times. Maybe do a little beat down without hope in the back. But the whole thing is, if they're smart, they'll play it into the whole feud, the whole thing between Rock and Roman about, did I really need you? Did you need me? Who's the biggest star? Who's there at the table? Who's Chopper Cheek? Who's the hot cheek? That's how you get there. That it tells both. That's how you get there. I mean, it's right there. It's right there.
I will. Okay, see, there's a thing about that that's there.
Because that's where we left off at. We left off about power struggle. Tribal chief, exactly. How do we get back there? The bloodline is gone. How do we get? This is how you bring it back around.
Well, I was thinking that right off the gate, there's a double cross, just out the gate. That's how I was picturing it in my head. But I do agree that you probably want something there, because when we left off, we don't know.
Well, you could do a double cross. The problem is that for us to do a double cross right now, we couldn't do it with the Rock schedule, because they will have a cross and then we'll have no fucking follow up now. So we can't do it.
Exactly.
We can't. Now we have that cross, but it'll be wrong.
That's why I said, and I kind of see, this is how y'all know Roman's my boy. I want him to do it on his own fucking balls. You're the one that put this in my mind, because you was like, you want.
Well, you can't look at it that way. You can't look at it that way. It's not always about he can't do it on for the title. It's also about the fact that you got Punk, talking shit about Roman's family.
Yeah, I
And
understand that.
hey,
Yeah.
how does it look? Hey, Rock, you came here to stand up to Cody because he was doing that, but hey, it's okay that damn Punk's doing that. They can make sense.
Well.
It's
See,
storyline.
I see what you're saying, but it's kind of, and see, this is why I say Roman's gonna play. God damn it. You kind of put me in a situation where I'm like, well, Roman, you can't handle your own business. You need your cousin to goddamn fight
Well,
you.
that always has been part of the whole thing with Roman. That was the whole thing between him and Seth.
Exactly.
Him and Seth
You know
saying,
what?
hey, you had the
They can use
shield.
that.
Hey, you got the bloodline. That's always hey, you had the Uso.
Now
That's always has been part of the thing.
You can use that for the storyline, which I do agree with you on that. Where if Rock showed up and Roman didn't tell him to show up, you can probably, show that dynamic as we go along. Hey,
I think that would come. Well, that will come later on. Like, I didn't ask you, but right now it has to be. I asked you because I called you because you got the impulse saying, "Where's your family at?"
See, I wouldn't like that for Roman because it makes me feel like, hey, you supposed to be the tribal chief. You supposed to be the badass. Like, hey, I'm supposed to be doing this on my own. Now, if Rock shows up without Roman knowing, I feel like to me that's more like.
Well, remember, the Roman we have now is OTC. He's not really the tribal chief character. Like it's a brand thing. So you gotta kind of remember that too. Now the other thing is that hey, part of the whole stigma, with Roman, they always kind of had a group behind him, and then when you didn't have a group behind him, he had Paul Heyman. So that always kind of been the whole idea between since we moved to the Big Dog era. That's kind of been this whole era. So it has someone in his corner. So that all kind of makes sense. So it all kind of feeds into that.
Well, see, okay. Are you let's say they do this angle that you're saying. You're doing this all the way to Mania. Do you still have you got Roman helping I mean not Roman, but you have Rock helping Roman, am I correct? At Mania?
Well, he doesn't have to. I mean, he can do a thing where he has interaction with Punk. We don't see. Oh my fucking god! Why would you do that? And that's how accidents fucking happen. You just almost hit that guy. Come on. Hold on. Fucking idiot.
Okay.
Come on.
I was thinking more.
What are you doing, bro? You always fucking idiot. But it doesn't have to be. He can do this thing where he beats down Punk. We don't because hey, with his family, he's right here beats down Punk. We don't see him at WrestleMania. Roman wins, and then eventually, we pick back up with Rock and Roman about, hey, you couldn't handle 10 minutes without me. You picked it all back up. So there could be different pieces. Now, granted, the Rock don't come. Well, the backup plan would be you can also come back and ask the family. I also come help them. So there's that too. That's the plan.
I don't think no one comes out of help. If you're gonna not bring the Rock, then I think he's gonna do it on.
So why say where's the family? So then the whole story then? Well, I'm sorry to tell you. Then the whole story then Roman's fucking losing because the whole story now is like, hey man, you don't have your family around no more. What you gonna do? So that means you're gonna lose. That's the whole story. Then.
Well,
you know that.
I think the story is now that remember that was Roman's story when he was at the Bloodline, right? He couldn't.
Correct.
He always won.
Correct. But now, but remember, he has not had a title shot since he lost it by himself, though. That's the argument. So that's the thing. So that means he's speaking losing then. It's only proof he can't do it on his own. He's gonna lose.
Well, I
So
feel like I don't think that will be. I think the story. I'm thinking different. Where the story is now. Okay, Roman didn't need the bloodline. He can do this on his own. Because I think that's what you want to go with him if you want to tell this. Well, I don't know if we're going to go to baby storyline or now he's on his own because I'm pretty sure that's the next direction. According to you,
Well,
you had kind of feel that.
hey, at this point, it's either you bring the Usos or you bring the Rock back to kind of confront, to confront Punk, maybe help him, maybe not, depending on if it's Rock or Usos, depending on which one it is.
So you got
That
me.
determines
You
the
got me
thing.
gonna have to face the
But,
IWC will say,
but,
"Well, y'all guy can't win
but,
without his family." Yeah, I know they're gonna say that. They're
well,
gonna say
think
that.
about it, because if he loses, then Roman's
Mm-hmm.
whole story is, hey, I'm down out again. I can't do it without my family. How I come back? It's the story, the whole story all over again. But if Roman wins, then what's the story after that? Because it is like,
Well,
okay, well, you won, so what's Punk's story now? Oh, I fucking lost. They're going to
well,
do a
Punk gonna
retirement
win. Well, no
tour.
matter even if they helped him or not, I think Punk's story is gonna be he'll start doing other things anyway. That's what he said in his promo where you're gonna start being this guy. Well, we're gonna put you on this John Cena, like you said, your fair line,
Retirement
milk,
tour.
yeah, retirement tour. Which that's no matter what, if they come out or not come out helping him, that's gonna be John Cena. I meant John Cena.
Well,
I mean,
I mean,
in game anyway.
oh, Dr. Dakota? Oh.
No, I made a mistake.
Well,
Saying John Cena.
oh,
I meant
well,
Punk.
hey, 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 we did get the
Well,
return of Ron
see.
Cena,
I
so
don't
maybe
know.
Cena come.
See, the thing that had me thinking this way was it was a conversation me and you had some months back where you was like, if you to be in the Hall of Fame, who do you have him going in with? And I was like, the bloodline. You said, well, you don't got him going in
Bloodline.
by himself. And I was like, well, not yet, because I was like, well, his run. I love the run with the big dog. I love the big dog run. It's
I
just the booking
do.
wasn't. It wasn't the
But,
booking. I didn't like the booking, but I
so,
feel like this right
here's the,
here could do that
but,
for him, where he can do it on his own finally, and it can get him finally over by himself. Because if you add all these
well,
other people in there, you kind of got that same argument with the IWC and probably people who would come on our show and say, "Well, hey, the guy can't win without his family. Can he do it on his own?" I think that's where the argument will be at as we get along in the next
well,
chapter, if that's where we're going.
here's the thing, though, is that, if the whole thing is, he does it on his own, and I think that on his own, he's going to freaking lose. I'm sorry to let you know. If they do that, if
Uh-huh.
they, if they, if he does it on his own and he loses, then I don't know. But if he has help and he wins, then
Mm-hmm.
you're probably also going to have AJ Lee speaking of win, and the whole story will be AJ Lee and CM Punk walk away, and then that's how you transition to have CM Punk, go through things in NXT or do other things in the company, because you have them both lose on back of WrestleMania. You have that good image now of them walking away and walking backstage and walking on site together, both losing their titles. And I don't think they're gonna do that just yet.
I get because
I
they
don't think
love
I,
their
I don't think I don't even think about it. It'll make
I can see
they'll
that.
do that because they both were well, he didn't win it at damn, but he retained it in Chicago. She won it in Chicago. They're both champions at Chamber. They're both walking away together. Like they did, because they pretty much walked away together 12 years, 11 years ago. Because remember, one thing with Punk. Remember, we also we cover commentary that she had retired because hey, Punk and injuries. Well, injuries and Punk, and so that's them working away together on their own terms this time because they both that'd be a good image. So that's what you'll get. Now, I don't think they're going to do that because I think they want at least some other things first for the titles before she's, kaput. So, so no, I think that interference, no one's going to help Roman, so that way we keep this whole storyline going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just man. I want my boy to when he go in the Hall of Fame, I just wanted to be like, hey, man.
Well, based on his promo, it doesn't seem like Roman's going to leave us anytime soon. You heard what he said to Punk.
Yeah.
You know, Punk said, hey, you're going to go on retirement tour. I don't be over here, you don't think what you're going to get. So, it looks like Roman's going to have a few more years. Now, we was pushing other things because we were hearing Roman was around, that Roman was on his last few years of the company, but it looks like
actually, to be honest, his contract ends at after WrestleMania. But from the way this promo sounds, he must have probably re-signed.
Oh shit! Well, you should have had said that. That means he gonna lose it. No, never mind. Bye.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I only had like 2 more years left. Holy shit! Wow! Oh my god, man! How so? Oh my god, Roman gonna lose. Oh my fucking god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh, that is Morgan coming! Oh, what is it? Oh my god! Wait a minute now! Oh god! Oh god!
I think he was re-signed because, like I said,
he can't resign! He can't! He goes $20 million!
Look,
I'm going. Oh god! Oh man, you know Miami, we're all trying to fucking break girl down, boy. Shit, Louise. Holy shit! Oh, he loves it all. Well, I ain't interested in this goddamn match. And never mind, don't sign me up for this fucking match. It's done. Hey, the last time we heard about someone's contract coming to the end was AJ Styles. Oh my fucking god!
Well,
no, he said that promo to give us the idea, but that's the actual shit. This shit ending and shit. He's gonna lose and then that's it. Oh my god!
According to him, what I got, and like I said, I don't know.
No. Before you go there, because remember what we got. Remember we got AJ Styles promo. Was, hey, he gonna make the year of AJ Styles. He wanted to go on retirement tour. Then we found out what?
Hey, I'm gonna send you on a retirement tour.
Well, yeah, but then listen to people. He said, I will be here, smash them all when I beat you. But now that he lost, he wanna just retire. Oh my god. Oh, come on. Jesus Christ.
Well, one.
Oh god! Well, hey, look at the bright side. Look at the bright side, man. Hey, look at the bright side. Listen to that. At least he ain't gonna retire with goddamn Gunther. So look at that. Jesus Christ.
Well, like I said, I don't know. I'm just speculating on what I was heard.
My God!
Roman Reigns. I'm going on Roman because I know this guy. He wouldn't come out and say, "Well, after I beat you, you gonna send people up here." So they might have did something.
Well, that's the same thing we said about. We heard about AJ Styles. AJ Styles was gonna retire in 2026. We thought. Hold on. We knew that he was because he said it, that he was going to retire in 2026 to be his last month. We thought, he'd be there a couple months. Then we started getting the bill between him and Gunther. We got him saying that, hey, it's going to be the live AJ Styles once he beats Gunther. Then reports came out that, hey, his contract is actually going to end, it was in the same month. We're like, oh, okay. So then we found that he lost, and we found out, hey, there was talks about them, maybe doing contract extension. They couldn't get it finalized, before their match, and so that main event. So the fans have him lose, and that's gonna be the end of it. That's what we got. So. Well, I mean, I don't know now. Okay, well, Roman gonna lose, and this is wow. Well, yeah, man. Well, you didn't get Roman. Forget all that.
I did say that at first before this promo had started. Then he gave me hope. So hey, At least I got a little hope. But I don't know, man. I think he wins. I think he rebounded from this promo. Like I say, did he go too far? Um, I mean, no. I mean, Roman had to give them permission to do it. And let's just be real. Roman's the biggest star they got, so they did not. They ran that line about by Roman. Trust me, guys. They had to. This guy literally is the guy. I mean, look at he's like at 20 something million or something like that. Final boss where they're paying him or something. And I mean, come on, you're paying this guy this big buster. You're not going to run that line past him. Trust me, they did. So and then like I say, this is a guy that understands the business. His dad taught him everything he knows. He raised about that all the time, and I think he did this to further the story, just not for just him. See, you got Final Boss on here saying, "Hey, the Rock is coming." That's the first thing a lot of people have been saying. I've been seeing the memes of,
hey, or they can't get the Rock, and that's
like how they did Cody. Yeah. So we'll have to see where it goes.
Hell, they might have goddamn Rikishi come.
I was mistaken.
They called in Rikishi. It's already, hey, they're related.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Go on, man. Go on, somebody. Don't call in solo in there. They too far down the goddamn card. So call goddamn Rikishi.
I think don't add no one. Just do Raw. You're gonna do it. I mean,
you just want to see.
They tried to do it last year. You go ahead, just do it again this year. You try to do it. You said the ticket sales are low. You said ticket sales are not selling. You both got them last year because me and you was, joking and laughing about Rock being on the photo on the fly, and then they took him off like right close to Mania, and then next thing you know, they didn't say nothing else about it. So if you want to do it this time,
hold on. When Travis Scott came out, they did say he was still about to follow ball for commentary. He did say that.
Oh Lord. I'd never forget that interview on Pat McAfee. They said they called him as you coming out. He said, "No, Oops, I would have called you, told you I'm coming out."
Yeah, but anyway, we gotta wrap it up because it's been 3 hours now. So
yeah, it's been 3 hours.
Calling, the radio is calling, and they're saying that they gotta go to the next show. So we gotta get off here. They're gonna cut us short.
The next show ain't until 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So hey, they got a long time to wait for the next.
Hey, they calling us out. Ballers calling us out.
But shouts out to everyone coming here. 244 people. Please don't forget tonight to check out CJ's EVP recap show of Vengeance Day for NXT, and tomorrow around 4:00 p.m. Eastern time. After Slam, we'll have a guest. He does interviews with IWC people and also with independent wrestlers. So please check him out here on my page, his page, or the Talk It Up page. And right after that, as soon as he go off around 6:00 p.m., you will have EVP Sunday Scoops, where he gives you all of the breaking news of the spoilers of what's going to go on at WrestleMania. And you catch those guys there on Sunday. So that's our weekend show, and then you can catch us again. You can catch me again Tuesday for Inside the NFL Mind of Miami, 6:00 p.m. The new show that's coming on, and Thursday 6:00 p.m. I got a lot of more new news that came out. Some more breaking news that came out.
Hey, the last time you said that you had like 5 people in there last time. So hey, easy there.
What? I had 5 people.
Everybody 500. Everybody turned out to see Miami.
I was like, no, I had pretty much. Yeah, well, hey, it's a lot of news that's been dropping. I'm kind of glad, like, I started early. I wasn't going to start in April, but there's been a lot of NFL news that's been dropping. This will build up the show for CJ for his NFL recap. So you guys can catch me on that. Hope to see you guys too. So please, join us for football.
Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore,
Mine 305. Give Final Boss, my beautiful co-host that's with me today, who's with me every Saturday, to get on my nerves and get on y'all nerves and get on everybody's nerves.
Hey, I make it fun. The radio is not a fucking radio, bitches.
Don't you
I'm that
don't
bitch.
forget that. Go
I'm
take
like
a
I get
rest. Go take
Jade.
a but please give her a follow. That's Final Boss Baby. 2B's 1Y CFO on X. I was telling her to get her check today, but I don't know why she got it. Hopefully next week she will have it,
I
so
had to
she will be
buy.
on
I had to
my
buy a
page too.
lipstick.
Please.
I bought a lipstick.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Well, I knew that as soon as I gave you. Anyway, but join us on Twitch, DWE Radio, and join and sub us on YouTube. That's Talking Up Podcast on YouTube. Like I say, please check out everyone who's with us at the Slam Podcast and EVP show. A lot of great content. Saturday through Sundays, we always have a show on, so please stop by
Yeah,
and check us
we
out
don't 24/7.
on X.
You gotta go nowhere else.
Well, we ain't on 24/7.
Well, we
But
kind
ain't
of
gonna lie,
are. Cause,
we do.
hey, wait a minute now. CJ just has a multiple show now. Wait a minute now. Hold
They
on
do
now.
got a
Wait a
lot of
minute now.
shows, but
Just
it
think
ain't on
about it.
every
Hold
day
on.
now. So,
Wait a minute. If you think about it, we do have, well, we all every day almost. Because look, we got CJ's
yeah,
on
we all do every
Monday.
day now.
CJ's
Yeah.
on Mondays. You and CJ both have shows on Tuesday.
Yeah.
What's on Wednesday? Shit.
No.
Then CJ is back on Thursdays because he has the
Yep.
TNA. You're back also on Thursdays. CJ is
Yep.
also on Friday. CJ is on Fridays. We're on Sunday. We're on Saturday. Slam, if he has interviews, is also on Saturdays. And then Sunday, usually Slam is on Sundays. CJ's also back on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's every day, but not 24/7 now.
Oh, shit. Well,
Every day now.
you can always,
Every day
you can
now.
always catch us. You can always catch us for about a day. Why? Because we're on the radio, not on the radio. You can always do play on Spotify, all right, on Twitch, on YouTube.
Yeah. On YouTube. You all ever had on YouTube. But like I say, shouts out to the whole DWE team. Thanks for everyone coming by, checking me and Final Boss out. We like y'all coming by.
Thanks so much to Karen for calling in.
Oh Lord. Yeah, prayers for Coleman. Hopefully
No, not Coleman. Well, yes, prayers to Coleman. But thanks to Caleb for calling in and being our star of our show.
Yeah, first caller. Like I say, if anyone
Yeah, and if you want to be on the radio, make sure you call. Stop being scared of damn Miami. Stop being scared. You got me. You ain't got to be scared of Miami when there's problems around.
They might be
People
scared of you.
You be scared of people.
Why they gotta be scared of me? What I do?
Well, I've heard that before. But they don't scared of you too.
Exactly. See?
God damn it.
Thank you. Thank you. We are 3 hours in, man. Like I say, we always have the link either on the site. You can find the link on my page if you do want to do some call-ins, or just leave a comment in the page. We are trying to get to some super chats real soon. We're still working our way up on that, but before all that happens, please give us a call in, do the call-ins, and leave the comments as we go along. Please help us grow.
Super chat. Hey, remember? Hey, you remember back when they had Superstars Me and they had let that shit go?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cause y'all was over there getting fat.
Oh,
Superstars. Well, remember it came out that all that shit was like, he cheated. It wasn't what we thought it was, and he had all these health issues and whatnot that he didn't talk about. So there was that too.
Yeah.
Man.
Like I say, guys, please check us again. We will be back next Saturday, same time, same place, 4:00 p.m. Eastern time. Here are our thoughts about what we thought about Raw and SmackDown for next week. Other than that, we will catch you guys later. Please come back and join CJ
Radio.
After Slam. EPP on Sunday. You done the apple head girl. Anyway, Jesus Christ, this is what I got to do, y'all. Anyway, let's go. We are out. I think the moral for today is no matter what, always think that you are great. Don't let no one tell you otherwise you're not. So I think that's my quote for today. Other than that, I'll see you next week, Final Balls. No, yes, maybe so. Who knows? Maybe the Rock will be. Maybe the Rock will show up
yeah, Rock.
on Monday Night
Yeah,
Raw.
Rock.
I
Yeah, Rock.
have to make. I have to make another thumbnail for Rock again.
Wait, hold
But
on
anyway,
one second. Rock, if you're listening, please come on the radio. It's not all the fucking radio.
oh Lord, you know that'll
Rock.
blow up quick if that ever happened.
I know. But
Hey guys,
hey, he did it for Pat McAfee. Yeah, he come on the radio on the hill. He use a cell phone.
oh
Yeah.
Lord. Anyway, we'll catch you guys next Saturday. Other than that, we love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Let's get out of here, man. This girl.